Look at me!
You make a request. Mr. Meeseeks, open Jerry's stupid mayonnaise jar.
Yes, sirree! Remember to square your shoulders, Jerry.
Yeah, I got it.
Try again and keep your head down.
Okay, which is it? Square my shoulders or keep my head down?
Well, it's both. But most importantly, you gotta relax.
You know what, Mr. Meeseeks? I don't think this is working. I give up.
I'm sorry, Jerry, but it doesn't work like that. I'm Mr. Meeseeks. I have to fulfill my purpose so I can go away. I'm the one who stops.
Nailed it.
I can't take it anymore. Okay, Jerry, you gotta just choke up on the club.
Well, which is it? Choke up or follow through?
Oh, come on, Jerry, we've been over this. You know you gotta do both. This is as frustrating for us as it is for you.
Don't tell me that. That just puts pressure on me.
Just try to relax.
You try to relax. Have you ever tried to relax? It is a paradox.
Jerry, you mind if we get back to the task at hand? Meeseeks don't usually have to exist this long. It's getting weird.
Look, I've got a marriage to keep together. At this point, my golf swing is more your problem than mine. Damn it!
Is he keeping his shoulders square? Excuse me, I'm a bit of a stickler, Meeseeks. What about your short game?
Do not fire that thing in here. You must save me. This is my life's work. It's all right, my dear. Nearly all human lungs contain a strain of these bacteria, but the scar tissue keeps them dormant. Growth is coming in fast. Get to the digestive tract. He's coughing.
Don't let me die! Take a deep breath, Ruben.
You're not gonna die. What's your name?
My name is Alex.
Growth is coming in fast. body is beginning to constrict and fill with gas. We're inside a corpse, my boy. Anatomy Park is different.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got pancakes back home with syrup on top of them. They're about to hit that critical point of syrup absorption that turns the cakes into a gross paste. Hate to get all Andy Rooney about it, but I think we all like fluffy discs of cake with syrup on top. Syrup on top. That guy got it. Now, if you'll excuse me. Yeah, murmur it up, D-bag. Oh, there's no need to do that, Beth. Regular pancakes are fun. Oh, I get it. Regular pancakes are already shaped like flying saucers. Of all the Ricks in the central finite curve, you're the malcontent. The road, I'm the Rick, and so were the rest of you before you formed this stupid alliance. You wanted to be safe from the government, so you became a stupid government. That makes every Rick here less Rick than me. Can you believe this? Yeah, murmur it up, D-bags. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got pancakes back home with syrup on top of them. They're about to hit that critical point of syrup absorption that turns the cakes into a gross paste.
Okay.
Hey, I'll take it over Mumford & Son. Hate to get all Andy Rooney about it, but I think we all like fluffy discs of cake with syrup on top. Syrup on top. Now, if you'll excuse me. Yeah, murmur it up, D-bag. Oh, there's no need to do that, Beth. Regular pancakes are fun. Oh, I get it. Regular pancakes are already shaped like flying saucers.
Oh, fucking baby. We are back once again. It is a glorious day. It's a very glorious day, actually. Bear Jesus has cometh. Bear Jesus has rowtheth. And Bear Jesus has come to forgive all. Because he knows what you did last bull market. Anyways, with that said, no, I don't actually think Bitcoin's entering into a full-on bear market right here. Yes, the thumbnail is a bit of a joke. And holy shit, if I need to explain that, then my lord, this is going to be a very nasty next few months for a lot of people within this market. market. But with that said, judging by the like to dislike ratio on this video right now, oh man, people are not gonna like it. People are really not gonna fucking like it. But holy shit, we actually do have a new all-time high on likes before the stream even started. So massive thank you for that. Oh, there we go. Number 6 is dropped on in. I always see the first person who, like, they literally have an alert for this video as soon as I put it up, before the video even goes live, and then they make a point to dislike the video. It's like, great, man. I'm so glad that you position your life around that. That is excellent. That is amazing. And I want to welcome you. And I even want to wish you a happy day as well, because why the fuck not, man? It can only help. It can only help in this very sometimes uninspiring world. But with that said, we have each other today, and we have each other. And with that said, we did see Bitcoin hit our downside target for the short and medium term timeframes yesterday, down to about 41,000 bucks. We did say a bounce off that area was likely. A bounce anywhere to about 43 to 43.5 is certainly within the cards here. But as long as Bitcoin's below 45,000 bucks, or even, as we're going to discuss soon enough, 44,500, I do believe, I would be looking for this as just another bounce to get fucking distributed on once again. And in the good old words, my old friend trading next to me, he would say, it's distribution, N-word, and I will not repeat that one. Anyways, I wonder if he's listening right now. That guy was fucking awesome. He used to play basketball at Illinois. Really, really cool. Anyways, with that said, holy fucking moly, man. I see a lot of people in here right now. I want to say a massive and good morning to everyone there. Mr. Dodgymon, I see you, brother. Mr. Hourglass Crypto, welcome. Good morning to you. Alex Switch, there he is, my fucking man. He's got his Bear Jesus hoodie on, and he's ready to rock and roll. James Whitaker, welcome to the cave, sir. BG, Michael T. Oh, my fucking lord, man. Gohan's mom, Jack Asserman, back in the house as well. And who else do we have? We have many today. Damn, man. This is actually a full day. It's a fun day as well, as people, I suppose, like to tune a little bit more during the actual downside markets. Now, don't they? Anyways, and what's up, CED? Holy shit, man! I feel like it's been like a year. Mr. T, holy shit, Airwolf, Fly NN, my lord, man, Dr. Bitcoin, Mr. Tasco, Jesus, man, this is fucking flying right now. Acoin Face, I should have listened to you. on BitBoy's show. I didn't buy the Acoin, and now I've lost everything. Elsa even left me as well. I even saw a great comment earlier, someone saying, is Krown a rich boy? Does anyone know his net worth? Or do we know his net worth? It's like, sir, what the fuck? In what world does it make sense to like give out your actual financial details to the ever foreseen world? It's like, Jesus Christ, man, it only takes one crazy person to come on over and wreck it all for good. Anyways, I'm wasting too much time over here. Let's get into the stuff that actually matters, and I'll stop talking about a bunch of bullshit. And with that said, I would like to wish you yet again the best and the happiest. Let's get into it right now, starting off with the Krown Chain application, which can be found in the link description below, and it is, by the way, 100% free as well. What do we see over here? We see Bitcoin dominance still heading up. Bitcoin dominance is what we expect to head up alongside Bitcoin coming down, or, essentially leading the upside rally as well. But it was very, very indicative, especially on this last move, where Bitcoin dominance was actually coming down as, the majority of the market was moving up, which is typically not what you want to see. You want to see Bitcoin leading the mega rallies and then altcoins more or less following. Not always, and there certainly are some strong altcoins, no doubt about that. It's certainly not as it was before in 2017, 2018, in years prior, where that was, 99.9% of the case. Now it's about 90% of the case, I would say. But on top of that, we do see that fear and greed index is about at the lowest read that we have seen in a couple months here, which is of interest. And again, I do not think that Bitcoin's going to actually like fully, shatter the floor. And when I say shatter the floor, I mean like below 30,000 bucks or anything like that. Maybe a quick wick or some if things really do get crazy. But first things first, man, 41,000 bucks is a big area to be aware of. As far as the top 10 best coins go, we see DYDX on the winners list. Yet again, having some pretty damn good days right there. Fundamentally does make sense, obviously, because Go Lucky says, dislike now. Krown is causing the crash. That's right, man. I've literally made trades for everyone, and not just everyone, but also like all of the major hedge funds as well, who actually move the market. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that fucking wild? Hey, what is that noise going on? Oh, wait, I think I left that noise on over there, or maybe that's going on over there. Whatever it is, I think it should be good to go right now. Anyways, as far as that goes, do we see anything else on the winners list? Actually, yeah, quite a few that are okay. For cryptocurrencies, this ain't too much, but double digits for DYDX, OKB, and almost eCash, which sounds incredibly legitimate. Great name right there. Anyways, I want to bring you over to the market data tab. Yet again, we do see that the global funding rate is actually pretty much neutral. I mean, 0.00 on the, across the board. So what does that essentially imply? Well, this is an average, obviously. So some exchanges are going to be a little bit positive. Some exchanges can be a little bit negative. But overall, this would be a little bit more of a downside setup short term if Bitcoin, assuming that Bitcoin is in a downtrend, which we do have, obviously, all the way up to a weekly right now. And also, we do see that open interest actually coming off the board as well, whilst the global leverage ratio is going up. So what does that mean? If open interest is coming down and the global leverage ratio is going up, then how could that happen? That could only happen if people are also selling their spot holdings as well. Or wouldn't that make sense? Yes, I do believe so. So with that in mind, we don't really have like the great setup on the global funding rates here for like any sort of major massive downside move in my opinion, but I do think that it probably is enough, especially as long as it's not more than negative 0.01% to play out a little more of the downside buys. And of course, keep an eye on the global leverage ratio over here, because if that does start to really come back up to the same levels that we did see on September 7th, on April 18th or April 16th, sorry, and then of course almost 1 year ago in November before about a 30% correction, well, all of those actually have been to the downside. What's up, Nimbo? I see you, brother. I see you. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, Elsa's computer is gone. No, it's actually still there. It's just not on right now, so you can't see it too well. Anyways, she's left. I should have bought the fucking A coin. God damn it, man. Anyways, let's get into the price action charts right now. Let's waste no more time, because that is where all the action's going on right here. And again, we did say that Bitcoin was probably going to bounce off the $41,000 area, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, and we're getting that bounce right now. But very, 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 very easily put, nothing bullish about this, especially as long as below $45,000. I do believe that you could move that level down to about 44.5 right now. With that said, we do have our first open and closure below the 200 simple moving average for the first time since, well, back on over here in late July, actually. So a couple of months ago, I do believe. My mental monthly math is on par. What on fucking point? I fucking hate that saying. Anyways, looking at that right there, as long as we're living below that, obviously not good. Anyways, do we see anything as far as momentum oscillators go right here? Yes, we do, in fact, or not necessarily momentum oscillators, but volatility indicators. We do see that BBWP is finally really starting to expand from that single digit read that we saw actually earlier this month on the 7th to 8th of September, and now the moving average on it is really starting to get a nice positive slope. I still want to see this get above 50 percentile, but overall, what do we have? We have trend, we have high, we have low, we have lower high, we have lower low, we have lower high right there. We have momentum, actually daily jewel still downside angled, although it's not super strong right there. It is kind of in a somewhat bouncy area as well. And then of course, volatility as well. So I do look at that as very, very likely to, continue onwards and forwards here. So let's go back to the chart that we were looking at yesterday. I believe it was this one right here. Let me just double check. Is it this one? No, I think it was actually this one. Yeah, it was this one. And where are we at in this current consolidation, which I'm defining as a bit of a descending triangle. And someone was asking yesterday, Krown, why are you putting this as a descending triangle instead of symmetrical triangle? Well, again, this would be why. I mean, symmetrical triangles I do not find work out all that well. Descending and ascending do have pretty damn good hit rates, to be fair. And if you were drawing it as a symmetrical triangle, well, you would have got something like this, would have been a quick fake out, then back in, and it's like, what do we have? What do we have? Well, you can make all sorts of excuses for it, but at the end of the day, it's Jesus toast, in my opinion. Most patterns I do think are mostly bullshit. But these ones I do pay attention to in cryptocurrency land specifically. And what do you know? We're being governed by the 55 on these current highs as well. And where is that coming in around? 43,500. So where do I think that this bounce could come up to? Potentially up around there. It's also not looking too strong for the current time being, to be fair as well. So I am open-minded in the short and medium term, but what I'm very, very strong on right now and what I'm positioning around as well is, as long as we are especially below this lower high, which is actually not 44,500, it's more like 44,000 even, which is also in line with the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement right here, a little bit higher. And I would say 44.5. I would be more erring on the side of caution with something like this. Then yes, I would be looking for that next move up to the 786, somewhere around about $47,000. And at that point, Bitcoin might actually have a chance, or very well could have a chance again, at least in the way that I look at things right here, right now. But for what it's worth, we are coming into the apex of this triangle. It will technically be very, very early October. And statistics have shown that when you get about 70 to 75% full within these formations, they're very likely to break. And that's actually, I wouldn't necessarily say today, but very likely tomorrow. And what do you know? Tomorrow is also the quarterly closure as well. So in between there, Bitcoin can play around within this region, no problem. But as long as we are operating within this lower high fashion as governed by the green 55 right there, I do look at this as more likely to break out to the downside than the upside, of course. Now, at the end of the day, if Bitcoin were to take out 44.5, even on a tick basis, I would be looking at, well, at the very least for a move to, 45.5 first, but realistically $47,000, and then come back to it after that. It would still be technically lower high highs on the daily, but overall, I would say that there's something new to be paying attention to, and that's kind of my red flag for, an early reversal back above 45,000 bucks actually, or kind of 44.5 at this point as well. Anyway, as far as lower term time from momentum oscillators go, what do we see right here? We do see that 4-hour Stokes will actually cross back up with any sort of a closure above 41,950. That is going to be confirmed in about 49 minutes and 23 seconds, which we are pretty much right around, but technically above right now. So, again, I do think that Boulahs can extend this bounce a little bit more, no problem. Bi-hourly, what are we looking like right here? 41,150 is the magical number right there. So a clean $1,000, a little bit more than $1,000 above it right now. And hourly, what are we looking at as well? 41,350 here as well. So again, is this bounce likely to try a little bit higher? Probably yes, but overall, I am very critical of it, I suppose. Anyways, going over here to the medium and higher term timeframes, this could obviously bleed on into the medium timeframes like the 12-hour. We do see 41,850 going to be the magical number right here. Kind of a bit of a trend line going on right here as well, although I don't trust that one. This one seems to be the more tested one right here, and actually did play out well yesterday. So overall, 41,850 going to be the magical number right there. And what I would say is I'd come back down onto the short-term timeframes right here. In fact, I would even feel comfortable using an hourly or bi-hourly in this case. And I'd say that if Bitcoin does start to close below 41.8, I would be looking for this one to roll over sooner rather than later, and very likely play out the next technical targets based off of this formation right here, which does have a technical target. As we actually, I guess I didn't do it on this chart, but I guess we did it on a different chart yesterday. Somewhere down around 37,000 bucks, which is rather interesting. Sorry, just below 38,000 bucks, around 37,500, also in line with the last major lows from August, early August that is. And if you recall, that is actually where the hash rate indicator indicated the prior low to that blue buy signal. So you can actually still look at that as potentially potentially active. And also, when I did the hash ribbons indicator studies, I judged that not on a wick basis, but on a closing basis. So it could very well be that Bitcoin does get a wick somewhere down around here, maybe even fill the gap all the way down to 33 or 34,000 bucks on CME, and then still close above 38,000 bucks. Definitely possible. I would keep an open mind right here, as a lot of things are going on, obviously. But let's actually go through the other higher term timeframes, going with the daily on CME as well. 42,000 bucks going to be the magical number. So a lot of things really kind of pinned around this region. Again, basically just below 42,000 bucks, I'd say. And if we start to see hourly 2-hour closures below 41.8, I'd say, then yes, I'd be looking for this one to roll over sooner rather than later. Until then, bounce can easily continue. 43.5 is certainly not out of the out of the realm of possibilities. And I don't really have any real reason to change my opinions here as far as my actual trading goes, as long as we are operating below essentially this last lower high right here, which on CME is a lot more obvious at 44, actually 6. A little bit of a difference between that and spot. Spot's going to be just above 44,000 bucks, to be fair. And actually, now that we notice it, lower term time for momentum oscillators are pretty consistent between spot and CME right now, which is good. I mean, we do kind of want to see this, but typically it takes until about Wednesday to see something like that. But just as a random observation right there, hopefully that is in some way helpful. Anyways, what else do we want to talk about right here? Yes, I do want to talk about this. So Bitcoin did do something rather important yesterday. What did it do? It did a couple things, actually. Well, first and foremost, we broke the 200 exponential average right there. We also confirmed, actually, 3 major things. We also confirmed a silver cross to the downside, and we are being governed by the 10 simple. Or if I go over to my actual trading charts over here, which we'll address that soon enough, I actually like to use the 9 in these cases. And what do you know? As long as this cross is active, and as long as we are being governed by the 9 exponential average, which is actually at around 42,800 or so, I do look at this as trend in motion, and well, likely to continue. I mean, we even see daily jewels getting a haughtier short signal right here as well, and that is supported by DMI, and we do see that volatility is actually rising above 50 percentile, especially on the moving average right there. So I do look at this as very playable. Now, with that said, if we go down here to the short-term timeframes, I do want to address something that we spoke about yesterday, or I think the day prior as well, and also the newest video in the TA program as well. If you look at this right here, this was in the newest video. I think I named it like Krown Cross or something like that. Silly name, but whatever. Looking at the PMARP, where do we come down to on the current low? Right at that 7.5, area. Anywhere below 10 is kind of like a bouncy area, and that is our current bounce thus far. And that's kind of how I look at these as as scalpable or playable if you do want to go for the trend in these cases. Going from well, in this case, just getting the local low in this case, and we actually did get a bullish engulfing as well. And is there anything else to be aware of on top of that? Let's go back on over here. I wonder if there's any divergences going on right now. 4 4-hour is actually going to show some bullish divergence, some phantom div that, or actually no, not some phantom, but some regular bullish divergence right there. Typically don't see bullish divergence come that well in the very shallow end of the bearish control zone, but for what it's worth, it is there. Again, that's why I do think that, or another reason why I do think Bitcoin could very easily carry on, this bounce a little bit higher, no problem. But what else do we have? Do we have any sort of hidden bearish evidence forming on the other end? Because that's what you would expect if this one is going to come back down. And yes, we do see 2-hour RSI is also well above the last few highs on that one. I think 3-hour is probably well up there as well. And let's just double check. Yeah, kind of, not necessarily. And hourly should certainly be up there, up there as well. So, if you're even looking at the hourly right now, being held back by the 55 is not a signal of strength. So actually and what do you know? There we go. Credit to caretaker on this one. Some hidden bearish evidence potentially forming if Bitcoin does close essentially here or lower on the end of the hour. Personally speaking, though, I really wouldn't be looking for like an actual break to the downside until Bitcoin really starts to close, an hourly or 2-hour back below about 41.8 or so. If it can do that, that's going to be pressure onto the downside. And once again, until then, I do think that this thing can very easily play out a bit of a bounce. And hey, should be open-minded as well, regardless of the thumbnail on this video. Obviously a fucking joke, but I don't actually think Bitcoin's going to zero. It's like, what the fuck? If Bitcoin can get back up about 44.5 or so, I would give it a chance from that price point. Now, what are the other things that I wanted to address? Yes, a few more things over here. Let's put on the Gaussian channel. And what else did we do yesterday? We did close below the bottom side of the Gaussian channel. This was significant. This is rather significant right here because we've been dancing around the bottom side of it and already retested the median of it to come back down to it and now break below it. To me, this is, or not to me, but if you are playing the Gaussian channel, that is to be considered an early, a major warning sign of an actual break on this current trend. If we go up to the 5-day, I think Bitcoin is bouncing off the median band right now. Yes, as well. If that starts to break, which guess where it is? Just about $40,000 actually. Technical target will be to the bottom side of the 5-day Gaussian, and this one's been very, very consistent throughout the history of Bitcoin's. Throughout the history of Bitcoin, actually, just that simple. We have a very similar setup right here, where Bitcoin has a nice move up, stays away from it for a long time, comes down, bases on it once. Same thing over here. Boom, bounces up, gives a little bit of a rally, then comes all the way back down to the bottom side of it. Same thing over here, rallies all the way up to the top side of it, gets a couple closures above it, and then fucking dump it down. And then this one, if we do start to break below the median band right here, I would be looking at minimum for a move to about $33,000. Could we get something like this? Possible, yes. That would be kind of like your black swan scenario, I suppose. There are some geopolitical things going on right now, especially with China and the Evergrande situation. And then also, if you're aware, the infrastructure bill vote is for tomorrow. And, a lot of the time these things get played up, and more often than not, they do end up to be bullish, to be fair. But what can happen in between that is, well, a lot of fuckery, if you will. And of course, who knows what the hell Jay Powell is going to say is, in the interim as well, because he has never said anything that has been interpreted bearish by the market in his tenure that I'm aware of. And feel free to prove me wrong on that. I would imagine if you do prove me wrong on that, then it's probably like once out of probably triple digits at this point, Anyways, we have a few more iterations of this as well. Same thing over here, bounce off the top side band, gets a nice, gets a phenomenal rally on this one, then comes down to the medium, bases there, boom, rejection, and all the way down, same thing over here. And then of course, this one over here, very, very similar as well. So once Bitcoin does break below, or if it does break below, I should say, the medium band, which again is just above $40,000, I would be looking for that move down all the way to mid to low $30,000 territory. With that said, it should also be known that the weekly is actually bounced off the top side of it as well. So, a little bit of hopium right there. Although when I look at this from a major moving average perspective, this is a bearish setup by fucking definition. We see a lot of things going on right here. And typically once you see a break below the 21 and it get a negative slope, I'd be looking for a nice shot to the 55. Now, again, from a major moving average perspective on the weekly specifically, which does speak towards the macro on Bitcoin, at least in my opinion, this is still actually a long-term good setup. However, it would indicate that you're going to see your accumulation if this is going to be bullish. Again, assumption there. somewhere around there in this case, and really don't want to see too many closures below it. But for right now, looking well, I do think rather likely. Of course, should also talk about doom targets as well. Not that I necessarily think that it's certainly not my first target here. Again, Bitcoin needs to actually break below $40,000 first, but hey, if it does start to break below about $32,000 on a weekly closure, then yeah, I'd probably be looking for, I suppose, low 20s at that point. Do I think that that's what's going to happen here? Probably not, no, but my opinion is irrelevant on these things. You see me be right and wrong all the time, and more importantly with that, it's always about the setup, it's always about the invalidation, it's always about the statistics that go alongside that. And in this case right here, that's all that it is, and that's something I can actually trust in as a trader myself. So with that said, it's really no more complicated than that today, I suppose. We're already 32 minutes into this bitch, and I think it's time for me to turn on the alerts. Perhaps we can get into the comments as well. Oh, I also want to address this before we do that. I do want to get on over here, and I will turn them on right now, but I do want to get back on over here. Let's check out Nasdaq. Nasdaq having a phenomenal downside move yesterday. And of course, this representing the tech sector, which Bitcoin, seems to trade a lot with. I would be looking, why are you yelling? Yeah, exactly, man. You don't need to yell at me, man. Looking at this here yesterday, I believe we did call a downside move. I did not call a big downside move like this, however, but this is very obviously continuation and plays into what we've been saying on this channel for the past 2 to 3 months now, that, October, November, maybe December, I'm looking for a 15 to 20% correction. I think that we're seeing it right now, or at least the etchings of it right now. This is your second test down to the 21 exponential average, which, admittedly, Bitcoin hasn't tested since May of this year as well, and it does like to correct down around there, but a breakage of this region. And yes, I'd be looking for that move to really play out, and where a 15% correction put us down around the 55 in this case at 13,500 or so. Do we also have bearish evidence all the way through here? Certainly we do. We also do have a head and shoulders on a weekly RSI, and we do see that BBWP is actually has not even started to expand just yet as well, which is incredibly interesting. Even the weekly jewel got the top on that one pretty damn well, but that is not the signal that I typically look for. Daily over here is a bit in free fall as well. I do expect that we will find the next sort of decent rally off of the 14,500 or 14,550-ish level coming in from our July lows of this year as well. Other than that, we have the setup, again, this fucking setup, the setup, as Pena would say, of the gods, where we do see BBWP expanding from low single digits in this case. We see trend going down, high, low, lower high, lower low, lower low, or sorry, lower high there again. And we have momentum obviously given a phantom drive of bearish evidence right there. And then daily jewel is about to get it's just a hold or short signal right there is what it is. So overall, how would I be looking for that to kind of interplay with with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin seems to act as like an emotional shitcoin to the to the major U.S. indices, and then most altcoins act as an even more emotional shitcoins in comparison to what Bitcoin does. So you can see the ripple effects, and realistically, this just kind of represents the potential risk-off environment that we might see. That brings in a whole lot of other litany of other questions about inflation and whatnot. I am not the person to ask about that, and I'm certainly not equipped to analysize that. I don't even think that anyone can truly do it, but weird games get played, and I can only speak towards what the charts show right here, and they seem to agree that some things are maybe not looking so hot. Now again, I should also address this as well. Monthly is also working on a potential bearish engulfing dildo. Again, we are going to be closing this one tomorrow at 8 not 8 p.m. Eastern time, but when is closure? 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do believe. I think we closed at 3 Chicago, so yeah, 4 would be New York if I recall properly. And the quarterly will also be closing, and the quarterly right now is a shooting star dildo. And oh man, oh fuck my Angus, holy shit. Yeah, it could be a nasty end of year. Anyways, I should probably get through SPY as well, because I know that King Cosmic is probably going to be here, and I know exactly what he's going to ask. And we actually don't see as bad of a drop-off on SPY, which is rather interesting. But, obviously bearish as long as below about 44.50. In fact, SPY did play out my move yesterday. However, now would I be looking for a bounce here first or not? We're actually already getting a bounce. I don't know. Nasdaq looks a lot more obvious to me in the sense that it wants to trade lower first before putting in a decent bounce. I probably would be of the opinion similarly to SPY as well. Probably another move back down somewhere around about 43, maybe even as low as 42.60 or so before the next sort of decent bounce. You got the same setup right here. Volatility is ticking up. It's trending up, more importantly. Momentum is down, and obviously trend is down as well. That's a pretty nasty lower high. Now, I would also say you will confirm a humongously nasty bear trap back above about 44.50 or so. So, there's always hopium on the other side, but that would be the invalidation for that. And until then, it's just another failed bounce, similar to Bitcoin on the short-term timeframes right here as well, which is actually already showing a bit of weakness. But again, a long 24 minutes and 44 seconds left to go. All right, cool. I'm gonna turn on the alerts right there. Let's see. Oh shit, I forgot. Oh, nice. Oh my God. Thank God for Nimbo. God bless Nimbo. Thank you, my good friend. Holy shit, man. I didn't even check in if you was sending me these, but massive thank you for that, good sir. And let's see what we got. he's sending some vacations though. What's up, Mr. Matt Chapman? How you doing, brother? Take the wheel, Bear Jesus. All right, we see Alex Switch, Bear Jesus. Do not spare the sinners. Exactly, man. He comes in with two red dildos, double-sided dildo, gonna fucking wreck and Shrek and shish kebab all non-believers. It does seem like, at least for the short term. Again, I'm not long-term bearish here, to be fair. Well, also define long-term. Go lucky. Dislike now, Krown causing crash. Let's see how many dislikes there are right now. 16. Holy fuck, man. There's a lot of dislikes, man. People are hating me today, but, well, it's okay. I'm like Batman. I can take the hate, but only for so long before I start losing sleep over it. I'm only human, man. Anyways, BK. You can tell I didn't get enough sleep last night. I was mulling over those nasty comments. Luna, 4-hour and daily. Let's check this one out. Let's see if this one's immune from the market's movements right now or not. Oh, it looks like literally the same chart as Bitcoin on the hourly. See what the daily looks like. Certainly a lot more stronger on the daily, but I do think that we're going to correct a little bit further south. Here we have Terra Luna, symbol LUNA versus the dollar. Let me just read some of these comments over here. This is great. This is great. This is absolutely great. And what do we see going on right here? Well, I believe we did say yesterday, long term, this actually has a really, really good chart, really phenomenal chart, no doubt about that. However, in the short and medium term, I would be looking for this correction to continue on. And we did break below the 21 yesterday. So I would be looking for this one to come down somewhere around $30 before the next sort of short term, medium term bounce, or I suppose more like a medium term bounce. 4-hour is actually looking okay, is actually not looking too bad right there, to be fair. So you know what? Let me maybe change that around. Let's see if we can come up with some with anything that's a little more obvious over here. Okay, so 4-hour Stokes will cross back above about 35.5. Let's see where the hourly is at as well. 33.68 to keep them up, and daily is going to be coming down below 37.25. 12-hour is going to be also coming down below 37.75. So again, corrective overall. The question is, how far do we come down here? I do expect that this one does probably throw in a wick somewhere down around $30 or so. But again, long term, very, very good chart, to be fair. This is among some of the better charts in cryptocurrency land, no doubt about that, and that deserves a lot of respect. And now let's come up with some areas of interest on the short term. So technically speaking, short-term timeframes actually, could very easily extend the bounce, I suppose. If this one wants to pop back up towards 36.5, that's completely fine. But as long as you're operating below 37 especially, I do look for this one to eventually roll a little bit lower down around the $30 territory. That's where I do think you might see some actual major lows put in. And I imagine that's also going to be around, yes, that is going to be around the weekly 10 simple as well. So consolidation around there is long-term good, obviously, but short-term does not seem like it's necessarily immune from Bitcoin's movements or just the greater market in general. Technically speaking, on the hourly right here, we do have some hidden bearish divergence potentially forming if we do close here or lower in the next 20 minutes and 28 seconds, and that probably does retest the lows for the short-term timeframes, and then I'd probably be looking for it to roll over after that to the $30 target or so. Yeah, 12-hour looks a lot more downside angle to me as well. So overall, again, I want to be very specific here. I do like this chart long-term, but short-term, medium-term, just like most of this market, I do think that it wants to come a little bit further south in validation on that, realistically above $37. This would start to look pretty damn good from a daily perspective, once again as well. But until then, I see trend, I see volatility, and I see momentum at the same time right now. So I'm inclined to say a little bit more short-term downside angled, and hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Terra Luna. Nice one, sir. Crazy guy says, exact price prediction now, or else I'll tell people you're a bad trader, with a bunch of exclamation marks. Well, I'm just going to leave that there from Mr. Crazy Guy himself. Yeah, man, I do understand that that's most likely a facetious joke. And yeah, man, I mean, that is, that is the majority of the market. And that is also why I don't think that this channel will ever like truly get big, which is probably a good thing because, most people want something like that. Most people don't even really want like a real analysis, in my opinion, or like a real opinion. What they want is they want their opinion to be espoused by someone else that they that then they can agree with, and it just makes them feel better, right? And that's what a lot of channels do. And fair enough, they're providing a service, like a hand-holding service, which is great. We need a lot of that in these day and ages because we're maybe a little bit more not as mentally strong as we used to be in the past. But hey, don't blame that. People have their reasons, obviously, and of course, everyone's always right and wrong at the same time, from time to time as well. So, realistically, man, when it comes to predictions and of course, we do talk about predictions. I guess predictions or targets, are kind of one and the same on this channel. It always has to come with an invalidation. It always has to come with a setup, right? Because that is what trading is. You can't ever be 100% sure that, something's going to happen, because black swans happen, 10 sigma events happen. They have a non-zero probability, and it's just a matter of time before they do. So, anytime someone says this is inevitable, it is going to happen, that's typically a good sign that either they are trying to, assuage the fears or kind of cajole people into, a false sense of security, because they know that that's what people like. Obviously, it gets the likes, but, at the end of the day, man, like, this channel was born in the bear market, and I just don't need to do that, because I also don't really care I don't really care about YouTube advertisement revenue or anything like that. It's all good. I mean, you can probably tell that from my numbers there. Anyways, let's see. MDis says, this streamer makes calls on both ends so he can act like he's always right. Lol. Okay, well, that's how we know that someone is not a fucking trader. And again, yes, it comes with an invalidation point. It comes with statistics. That is always going to be that's always going to be a staple point of it. And again, I understand what you're saying right there, man. It's a reasonable thing to say for someone who doesn't have much experience, which is fair enough, man. We all start from somewhere. That's what I used to say. That's what I used to say about other people as well, until I actually learned for myself. The Boo Frank says, hello, Mr. Krown. What's up, man? Can you check out ASAN on the 4-hour daily? Okay, let's check this one out. This one does sound familiar, but oh yeah, okay, it is a stock, but let me just double check. Okay, yes, it's definitely a stock, as nothing pops up on the cryptos. And we have a breakdown, baby. We got a breakdown. Might be a little bit of a bounce today, back above about 105 or so, but ultimately I would be looking for this one to work its way down. Yeah, work its way a lot down to about 90 to 91 bucks over the next couple weeks here. Maybe the next month's probably in October. Short term though, might have a bit of a bounce. However, I really have no reason to change my opinions on this one as long as you're below about 113 or so, especially, which is well and far away right now. And again, you got the same setup right here. Downtrend, momentum, and volatility. Not going to be looking too hot on that one. But probably one more short-term bounce off of like 99 or 99 and a half or so. Let's see. What's up, Brennan02? Thank you for that, man. Nice little emoticon right there. Lovely. Just fucking lovely, man. Hey, happy birthday, Mr. Randy K. I see that it's someone's birthday today. There you go, man. There you fucking go. Gemini Athlete says, hey K, is ISE stock? It broke support. It looks like it's going to bounce in the morning for higher low. I want to short 1650 to 17 area. Okay, let me pull this one up first. ISEE. Okay, and what is this one looking like? Yeah, this one looks pretty nasty. Okay, and you're saying you want to short 1650 to 117 area. Oh, you're okay. I see what you mean now. So you want to short and move back up, up around there. I wouldn't disagree. Well, okay. 17 is kind of where I'd be looking towards on this one. This one actually does look like wants to bounce, or at least open up on a bounce today. The question is, does it get back above 17? That actually makes this one really easy to manage. But short term, I do think that it bounces into probably somewhere around your region. However, I would not want to be short back above 17 bucks on some like this. This one probably goes for another run if that were to happen. But higher term timeframes, obviously a bit of a breakdown here after a bit of a after a bit of a short term upside move. Probably looking somewhere down around just below 15 bucks, somewhere in like the mid 14s, 14 and a half or so if I had to guess. Let's see the long term of this thing. Okay. Oh wow, Jesus fucking Christ, man, what the hell happened over here? Obviously, something news related or you know of the likes. Long term though, is this one actually reversing here? Potentially yes, but it sounds like you're going for more of a short term trade, which is fair enough. Different game right there, but do be aware of that long term. And it's Mary's birthday too. Holy shit! Happy birthday, Mary! My lord, everyone's a September baby, myself included actually. Let me just drop something down here. Let me just go get it. There we go. There we go. All right, next one. What else do we have over here? Mr. Mohammed Shaikh says, Ric Flair Woo USD for our daily. Sure, man. Woo provides liquidity to DYDX. Okay, so DYDX is the one that was looking pretty damn good. For like the last couple of weeks here that I recall. So I expect that this one's looking good as well. And it is. Certainly it is. This one's looking really, really good, actually. I would expect the rally to continue right here. It's going to be difficult to kind of come up with some areas of interest upside because this one is, very, very new, obviously. Less than a month of history, just right about there. But I do expect that this rally will continue. It's looking pretty damn good right now. It did sell from the 2618 already, so probably next move up there probably does actually break it. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing above $1 into like early October. This is certainly one of the better charts that we're probably going to see today, I imagine. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. And again, something that is kind of combined, I suppose, with fundamentals in this case. Okay, cool. A YLE says, hey, Krown, Nimbo, if I could ask you, do not send me chats that are not relevant right now. It is a little bit difficult to kind of navigate these, and I do want to make sure that people are like actually taken care of in the proper way. Again, I do appreciate what you're doing, but please, we can't like fucking address everyone who has like an opinion. Anyways, let me just double check on this. How do you change the PMAR? It's actually pretty damn simple. You just go over here, boom, change this to PMARP, boom. There you go. All right. Let's see, I missed a couple right here. Okay, Acoin Face says, A-bus on the 4-hour pre is good, sir. Whales accumulating extremely bullish. Okay, all right. Is this Airbus? Nope, this is Arbutus. Great fucking name. Biofarm down. I do not think that the whales are accumulating this one. At least they, well, hold on. You're probably looking at like a very long-term chart. Yeah, I'd agree with you. Yes, I would agree with you. But you're asking about a 4-hour, and then you're talking about accumulation. No, the 4 hours of breakdown right here probably comes back down to $4, maybe a little bit lower than $4, right? Like $4.10 to $4, somewhere around there. Long-term it is, but I'm looking at a weekly to kind of get that. Short-term, no. If you're looking at a weekly right here, this one's pretty damn good. But, this one's been under accumulation for the past, I guess 3 years now, almost 4 years. So can definitely go on for a lot more longer. Monthly's good though. This one actually does look like it's probably ready around end of year. Confirmation would be back above about $5 on a monthly. And then, yeah, this one can probably roll up to $9-10 actually. Maybe like early 2022 or something like that. But for right now, like, be aware that if you're looking at a fucking 4-hour and then you're judging it on like a weekly or monthly, not going to be too helpful, unfortunately, or at least it might not be too relevant, right? Might be a little bit early, but not right. Bremy Kwan says Mobius network. Okay, if you could include the ticker, that'd be massively helpful, especially on these ones that I don't have a clue they are. Okay, what the fuck? How do you spell this piece of shit? Mobius. Okay, I'm spelling it right, so I'm guessing TradingView does not have it. Yeah, please include the ticker just so that I can be doubly sure, but it appears that TradingView is not going to have this one regardless. Okay, that's Matic Network. No, yeah, this is not it. Yeah, so unfortunately I can't, maybe it's like MOB. I'm going to guess it's like MOB. Great ticker right there. Yeah, I don't think so. Unless if it's this. No, that's mobile coin. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, I am limited by what TradingView has, so I'm gonna guess it's probably really new right there. What's up, Miguel? Hey, hope you're good as well, sir. About hammers and shooting stars, I feel they aren't as reliable in crypto as traditional markets. Also, can we check UTK, USD? No, I don't think that most dildo formations are like very good in cryptocurrency land. I don't think that they're very good in like most lands actually, but if you are going to use them, and where I do find them to have a degree of validity is on very high term time frames. So if you see it on like not even really a daily, but above a daily, especially a weekly seem to work out very, very well. Other than that though, I generally agree with you. Also, can we check out UTK USD? And again, like when we were addressing that earlier, that was on a fucking quarterly, which is obviously an incredibly high term time frame. So I'd say that probably going to hold true. UTK USD daily and weekly, sure. UTK USD Nimbo just sends me all like the fucking hate comments. God damn it, Nimbo. Jesus Christ, man. Looking at the daily right here, not a big fan of this one. Looking at the weekly, you know, bouncy, but if Bitcoin starts to break 40,000 bucks, I'd be looking for this one to come down to 20 and a half cent or so. 4 hour time frame. Short-term bouncy, although it doesn't necessarily seem that that's what you're interested in. It seems like you're interested in higher-term timeframes. I would feel quite comfortable saying that there's nothing bullish about this thing as long as you're below about 41 cent. This one looks like it's rolling over. Silver cross to the downside on the daily, being governed by the 9 exponential. So as long as you're trading below 35.5 cent, I look for this one to continue to roll on over. Again, easier to watch Bitcoin in this case, but basically the same setup there regardless of that. Let's see. Oh, dear Lord. What's up, Super Ghoulie? Hello, sir. Can we have a look at yes, Dow Jones? Yes, we can do that. Dow Jones futures, absolutely. See what this one is. This one actually had one of the better bounces. Yeah, didn't break down as much as the rest of the market, but also got wrecked a lot more than the rest of the markets way back almost a week and a half ago now. So what are we looking for on this one, or what time frames are you looking at? Daily and weekly. Okay, let's go queue these up. You know, this one's obviously going to be a big. This one's obviously going to, you know, operate big off of the infrastructure deal. This one's going to be fundamentally driven. You know, I do have, at least historically speaking, it hasn't been too wise to kind of bet against a bad decision on these sorts of, you know, increase the debt limits, or, you know, are we going to sign this bill or not? It almost always goes through in my experience. But for right now, you know, until tomorrow, is this one under pressure? Probably yes. You know, if Nasdaq increases the losses here, I'd probably be looking for this one down around about 33,850. Obviously, you're going to be bullish back above 34,750. But if we go to the weekly, you know, if you go to the weekly, technically speaking, shouldn't be too bearish as long as you're below about 34,400. But again, this one's going to be fundamentally driven coming into tomorrow. So I'd really be paying most attention to that. Until then, probably TA is not going to be too useful. Short term probably extends the gains a little bit more, although it doesn't necessarily seem that you're too concerned about that. Wouldn't be surprised to see it at 34,500 or so. But I mean, I'm going to tell you what you already know. You know, you got lower lows, lower highs, and oh wait, I'm on the wrong chart right here. Although this is still rather helpful. Let me go over this one and see if there's anything more obvious. Let's go to a time frame that matters, perhaps too, and let me actually fix that as well. Yeah, I'd still be overall bearish on this one, looking for it to come back down to 33,750 or so. I wouldn't be surprised to see like another wick down around here, and then, you know, around the time of the decision tomorrow, you'll just see it get you'll see like a beautiful bounce somewhere in this region right here. Maybe slightly lower as well to like 33.5. Anywhere around there is fair game. You never know what happens into these decisions, sir. What's up, Mr. Winning Choice 87? Coty USD follow up on the 4-hour daily. Sure. All right, sorry. This one's been very popular the last week, but is it still going to be deserved of that? Yes, absolutely yes. Wow. Very impressive. Very, very impressive, man. I was not expecting this. Very fucking good. Very fucking good. Here we have Coty, symbol COTI versus the dollar. And we have one of the best looking charts that we've seen today. That's for sure. Now we are coming into the week, or sorry, not the weekly, but the monthly closure tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Any sort of a closure above 55 cents especially is going to look really, really good for coming into October and November. Probably still looking at moves towards 80 to 90 cents or so. Maybe by November, but overall daily is just continuation right here. I mean, this is strong. This is really impressive, actually. Volatility continues to expand, and we're getting up to some crazy levels right here, yes, but I want to see it get up to about 95 percentile before I look for you know, medium-term tops or maybe even long-term tops in this case. Daily RSI consolidating around the bullish control zone, also very, very good. I expect that this one does lead up towards continuation. Invalidation would be with a full hour below about 56 cents in this case, and would be looking for another run at the lows. I don't necessarily think that that's what's going to happen, but even lower term timeframes are looking good here as well. Hidden bullish evidence on 4-hour RSI, and let's go over here. This chart, there we go. Lovely. And what do we have? 12-hour headed up as long as above 56 cent. Daily is up as long as above 56 cent as well. 4-hour is freshly up as long as above about 58 cents. So yeah, I'd be looking for this one to retag the highs and probably make new highs into the end of this month. This is really, really good. Definitely among the best charts, maybe the best chart that we've seen today. Very impressive for COTI. Nice one, man. Always interesting to see something like this. All right, nice one. Hey, what's up, Paranoid? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. I'm still gay. Have a great day. UBT USD, sure, man. I am gay as fuck as well, man. I'm showing my divergences everywhere that I go. Let's see, UBT over here. Still, I don't know when we looked at this last, but it's still within this falling channel or falling pizza. It's more like a falling channel on the daily, actually. Something like this. I'm not a humongous fan of these formations as well, but they're okay. They're okay. In this case, what time frames are you looking at? Is that a daily? I think that's what you said. I still look at this one as likely to probably put another low somewhere down around about $2.5 or so. Daily, I would be bullish back above about 320. That would look pretty damn good. Long term, this is a very good chart, so I am inclined to say that any move to the downside is more or less corrective overall, but that does look rather tough. Let's go to a monthly. Monthly is still okay. Long term, I do think that this one's okay, and I think that that's probably what you're interested in. The question is, if you're specifically asking about the daily, do we get another run at the current lows at like 250 or so? Potentially, yes, especially if Bitcoin rolls over here as well. But back above about $3 or especially 320, I'd start to be looking at this one as relatively healthy once again, and very likely to charge back onto prior all-time highs and make new all-time highs into end of year. Until then, weekly still correcting. Monthly is still probably okay. You have a bit of bearish divergence potentially forming right here, but we do not have a local high at the same time. So a little bit too early to call this one, especially coming into the end of this month. If it does want to break down though, I would be looking for 220 or so. Long term though, I do stick with what I've been saying. This one is generally good. The question is, are we bottoming at 250 or are we bottoming like 220 or so? So hopefully that was helpful there. And there you go, sir. What's up, Mr. Sane Bosch? Appreciate that, man. But feel free to have a comment as well. Nuke Tech says, hello, Agent Mulder. Can you look at ETN and determine if it's going to follow the Bitcoin price direction? General answer is going to be 90% of the time yes, but let's check it out. Electronium, this is a 2017 shitcoin. No, doing something different here, very obviously. And it has been doing some very different for the most part over its history of time. Mostly just goes sideways. So there you go. The rest of the market zooms up and zooms down, and this thing goes mostly sideways. But over here, it's actually looking okay. It's looking constructive. 4 hour, short-term sideways is very, very good. As long as things above about 20 cents, I actually do quite like this one. Looking for a move back up to, sorry, not 20 cents, but 2 cents. Looking for a move back up to about 2.5 cents. Long-term, I do expect that this one is obviously going through a bit of an accumulation over here and getting ready for a nice move back to the prior highs, maybe in like maybe October, November area. Again, a chart that looks that just straight up looks different. I should offer up an invalidation on this one below about 2 cents. I would start to get bearish on it, looking for it to completely come back down and retrace pretty much the whole rally in this case. But for right now, I think you give it the benefit of the doubt. This one is showing a relative strength to the rest of the market as it's just simply doing something different. But well, yeah, I think I can leave it right there. Any sort of a closure, basically here or higher by tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'd probably be looking for this one to retest highs. Maybe October, probably November in this case. It does look okay, and it is different. It is certainly different. Let's see. Jolo, what's up, man? Hey, Krown, I see the Bitcoin weekly in log with the 50 and 200 SMA. Every time we've lost the 50, we have revisited the 200 in Bitcoin's life. Your analysis thoughts on this action? Well, first, let's go confirm that. I typically don't look at... I typically don't look at too many simple moving averages, but we can definitely put that on for right now. So I'm going to do the blue as the 50, and I'm going to do the white as the 200. And let's just get rid of everything else so we can dial these ones in. Let me just make sure that one's actually on. Okay, so you're saying, let me just read your comment once again. On the weekly, when Bitcoin loses the 50, every time it's tested the 200. Okay, well, first off, the 50 is currently coming in at around 39,500. Let's see if that is true. Is that true over here? It loses it, rallies back up, then yeah, it comes down to the 55, or sorry, the 200. Okay, fair enough. That does work out right there. This one over here loses it, boom, gets governed by, and then yes, down to the 200 as well. Yeah, true. Let's see, I'm trying to look for an example where that was not true. Technically, we broke below it ever so slightly right here. I wouldn't necessarily say that that's like a conclusive break, but technically speaking, it did close $100 below. Probably not really relevant on a weekly for an asset that trades like $30,000 to $40,000 for $30,000 to $40,000. Do we have examples over here? Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have too many iterations on this one, but it does appear that what you have stated is true. Yeah, for the... I guess we have 1, 2, and 3 iterations on this one. Okay, there is one contingency that I would say on that. Obviously, it did break below right here, and then it rallied back up, and then broke below it again, and then tested the 200. Kind of splitting hairs on that one, but wasn't like fully, it kind of honestly looks a lot more like this right here, to be fair. You know, chops around the 50 and then actually breaks it. Possible, yes. I mean, it is true what you said, no doubt about that. So I suppose something to consider. I mean, that would, theoretically put Bitcoin down at $16,000. I think that that's quite unlikely, but again, my opinion is not relevant on something like that. It either happens or it doesn't, sir. But yeah, interesting, very interesting. All right, MM says Ethereum USD 4-hour daily weekly on KuCoin. Who gives a fuck about KuCoin? Let's go to the exchange that actually has price action history. How about that? Let's see. Let me put back on my tools here. Okay, boom. Wait. Yes, there we go. Okay, get rid of that one. 150, and I want my 21. Okay, beautiful. Okay, and you're looking at, yeah, basically a general overview. Yeah, but I don't really see the relevancy of just looking at KuCoin. It's a somewhat newer exchange, so it's not going to have the history of it. I go for, I think, Finex in this case. Yeah, Finex has a good amount of history here on this asset. All right, here we have Ethereum, ETH versus the dollar, of course, and we're getting our bounce off of our 2800 level that we spoke about yesterday. So now what? Well, overall, we are going to be looking at a silver cross to the downside relatively soon between the yellow 21 and the green 55 right here. With that said, oh shit, I forgot to actually put on one more thing over here. Hey, stop that. With that said, as long as we are trading below the 10 simple in this case, that's the red moving average right there at about 2950 or so. I do look at this as, well, you know, redistribution before getting ready for a move lower. In this case, next targeted region would be somewhere around about 2500 to 2400 or so. 4-hour time frame right here. If you want to do the general overview, you know, we are getting the bounce that we spoke about yesterday. Can the bounce, you know, travel a little bit higher? Yes, absolutely. Anywhere around 30 is fair game on this one. But ultimately, I do stay bearish on this, especially as long as we're operating on lower highs for the higher term timeframes, that is. So short-term timeframes, can they rally up here? Yep, absolutely no problem with that. If we go over here to momentum oscillators, let's see what they're saying right now. Yeah, 4 hours going to tick back up above 2940. So technically below there right now, but if it does start to tick back above there, that would very likely extend the rally back above 3,000 or so. Hourly is up as long as above 2840. 2 hour is also up as long as above about 2840 as well. So short-term timeframes are showing a little bit of an extension of this bounce most likely. And 12-hour will actually be crossing down if this one fails to close above $3,000 later today. And daily is also down as long as we're below $3,000 as well. So yeah, kind of actually mostly in line with what I just said right there. Can rally up anywhere around $3,000 as long as you're below there, though. I do still look at this as, you know, just another lower high. Not as obvious as Bitcoin, obviously, but you do have the lower highs right here. You got about the same lows as well. You might call this a higher low if you're looking for reason to be bullish. Fair enough. But more importantly with this, I don't really have a reason to not be bearish on this thing as long as you're especially below about 3,000. If you want to go buy the book, then you'd be looking at it. I think it's like 3,100 right here. Let me just double check. Yeah, about 3,100, wherever the 21 is at this point. Now, I would call a bear trap confirmation above that region, but not until that region's taken out, either on a closure above the 21 or a wick higher than what we saw on the 27th of September right here, which is 3166. At that point, I would be looking for a move up, a significant move up actually, all the way to about 3,450 to 3,500 or so. But overall, I do think that this one is more downside angled. Again, as always, it's just easier to watch Bitcoin price action here. But if we go to the weekly, you know, what do we have going on right here? We do have a high. Yes, this one actually did close an ever so slightly higher high. So we actually do have bearish divergence confirmed right there. We even have a head and shoulders on weekly RSI. How would that move already played out? Probably not. Let me just double check here. Oh, what do you know? Measure moved directly down to the 55 in this case, in the low 2000s overall. So I think it is easier to just watch Bitcoin in this case. If Bitcoin starts to break below about 40, I think it was $41,000, especially on like a 4-hour closure or so, then at that point I'd be looking for Ethereum to kind of tumble down with it. And like I said, there will very likely be bounces along the way. Again, 24 to 2,500 looks good to me for a decent sized bounce, perhaps even a tradable bounce. But I would just be looking for, well, just a bounce before further continuation lower. Again, if this area fails right here. Is there anything else that I want to address here? Monthly. Okay, so we are coming into the monthly and quarterly closure here. Let's see how this one's operating right now. Yeah, rejecting the topside Krown band. This is not good coming to the end of the month. Again, if it does hit the bear trap triggers, it actually will target the top side of the Krown band, which is 3450 or so, which would be good. How does that look on the quarterly? Still okay. You can make some excuses for it. You could even have a backfill in last quarterly open. You'd still probably be okay long term, but that is long term, not relevant for, you know, the next few weeks to come, I imagine. other than that, oh, I forgot to check this over here as well. Oh, weekly Stokes crossing down as long as below 37.40 or so. So yeah, I'm a lot more downside on this one than not. Short-term timeframes, though, they can extend the bounce if they want. 3,000 is, is fair game. Bearish, however, very bearish, in fact. As long as you're below about 3,100, I'd say on a daily. And hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Ethereum. Nice one, sir. Nice one, sir. All right, cool. Let's see. Andrew Hutchinson. Mr. Hutchinson. Hello, sir. I've been watching you on the Nomad Capitalist. I missed the bell ringing at the beginning of the stream and dishes clanking. You might need to fill in for Elsa. I can't play two roles at the same time, man. I can't be both mom and dad, baby. Krishan Siva says, "Hey, Krown, what's up, man? Thank you. I appreciate that. Any chance you could look at Sol? Okay, symbol SOUL, not Solana, but SOUL. Sure. I don't believe I've ever looked at this thing. Okay, it is a crypto, I'm guessing, because that's popping up over here. Fantasia. Breakdown. Breakdown, man. Looking like it wants to come back down to 45 cent or so. And I would be looking for a decent sized bounce there. Anywhere between about 45 and 47 cent is where I'd be looking towards. Yeah, this one is kind of breaking down right here. How's the weekly look? Weekly looks like a top. I do think that this one does work its way lower over the next month, probably back down, maybe even below 40 cents. Had a pretty good run right there. But yeah, quite toppy in the short term. I would only be bullish on this thing back above about 64 cents, but it can happen. It's just well and far away. And right now, all momentum oscillators are downside angled. I'd be favoring the downside, at least for one more test of like 47.5 cent, probably a bounce there. And then, well, continuation below is going to very likely indicate a lot more continuation below, probably down to 40 cents over time. You're looking for an entry around 45 cents to 50 cents. It depends what you're trying to do, right? So, in this case right here, if you're looking to play a bounce, is this a worthy knife catch? Not necessarily a knife catch. Someone's just coming down to support. Tradable bounce, probably yes, but would I be looking to like hold that trade for the rest of my life? Maybe not. Of course, it's not financial advice, not financial advisor though. Ali Al Sharami says, "Can you check out Atom USD?" Sure. This is Cosmos. See where this one's at. I think this one was getting some love recently too, and yeah, it's okay. It's actually pretty good here, all things considered. I don't think it's going to be immune from Bitcoin's downside move, and I do think that it will find its way back down to 28 and a half or so. But a really good chart long term. So when it corrects down into the mid 20s or so over time, that's probably going to be an opportunity. Short term, however, is this one likely to bounce first, or is that even what you're asking for? No, you're looking at a daily. I mean, short term could easily bounce up to like 38 and a half or so. But bearish below 42, especially. Yeah, man, this looks like it wants to roll over a little bit. Lots of drives of bearish evidence come off that highs. I'd probably be looking somewhere down around about $28. Daily Jewel is given a downside trigger as well, and we do see that volatility is once again starting to tick upwards. So I'm inclined to say that this very likely does come with downside momentum. Let me just double check over here. See where we're at as far as Stokes goes, just out of curiosity. Yeah, weekly's coming down as long as below 38 and a half. Okay, daily's down as long as below 43. Yeah, I think at best this thing goes sideways, but most likely plays out a downside move. Probably going to be triggered by Bitcoin. So if you see Bitcoin break down, you probably find this one somewhere in the mid to upper 20s, somewhere between about 25 to 28. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. Mr. Cameron, hello. Good morning to you. It's one here. Stay up and trade Europe or sleep early for greedy America. I know that that's probably a little bit of a funny comment, but if I'm being completely honest and serious, I value my sleep over everything else because I know that if I do not sleep well, I'm just not going to be making good decisions, and if I don't make good decisions, I'm probably not going to have a good trading day. So, or just not a good day in general. So for me, I prioritize that. And I'm pretty fucking militant about it. But hey, man, if you like the zombie life and you like staying up, all good, man. You're always welcome here, of course. But you're asking for plus DYDX continuation call made 10x. Nice. Hey, congratulations, man. Nicely done there. Remember you asked about that one yesterday. It sounds like you took advantage of that one. Good shit, man. Good shit. KSM 30-minute, 4-hour, and weekly. Okay, 30. That's quite the spread. All right, we can definitely look at it. Where's this one at? Daily kind of wants to bounce. 30-minute looks okay. This one's okay. Actually. Weekly, where are we at? Maybe not so much. again, it's unwise in my experience to be going contrary to Bitcoin's direction. Yes, things do now more than ever trade contrary to Bitcoin's direction, but is Kusama going to be one of those ones? Maybe. I mean, there is a pretty easy trade here. Back above just yesterday's high, I would actually be, I guess, somewhat bullish on this one, looking for a move all the way up to $400. And this would look, dare I say, decent, especially in the context of this market. But all higher term timeframes above daily are bearish and likely showing moves down to, mid to low 200s. 4 hour. Technically, a weak death cross right there. I wouldn't say that's like a playable one. 4 hour jewel, I think is the one to be watching right here, and that does suggest up. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one actually pop back above 360 or so. If it does that, that would be good. Until then, I do hold some reservations with it, just based off of what Bitcoin's doing. But if this thing's going to move on its own, this one actually looks okay on the daily for another move up. I just want to see back above either yesterday's high or a 4 hour closure above 360. Actually, is that going to be the same thing? No, yesterday's high is a little bit lower than that. 350. Yeah, above 350, this one probably looks pretty damn good and pops back up around $400. And maybe it salvages itself. Let's see what the monthly looks like. Yeah, it'd be okay. It'd be okay. I think I'll just leave it right there. But I think you said 30-minute as well. 30-minute is fine. I have no major issues with this as long as you're above 330. And where would I call a failed and downside move? Anywhere below about 305 or so, probably even on a 4 hour. On a 4 hour, actually anywhere below about 315. It's going to be the invalidation on that. But yeah, something that does look legitimately different than most other things, which is interesting. Av RCE says apps daily weekly. Okay, let's see what this is. Apps. Is it this or okay? It is a stock. Oh, we got a stock. We got something real. This is good. Daily, weekly, daily down. Be looking for this one to extend a little bit more, probably bounce around 68.5 or so. Weekly, same thing. This is actually really, really good on the weekly, so I do expect that short-term downside moves to what exactly was the target? Anywhere around about 68 to 68.5 is fair game. I would invalidate this below about 66 on a daily, but for right now, short-term, yes, it's downside angled. Long-term, I like this actually a lot. Monthly, decent as well. I think it's could obviously trade a lot more sideways here, but overall, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. Higher term timeframes are good. Just short term very likely comes down here, and then I'd invalidate that below about $66. If you lose 66, then well, this one probably finds its way all the way down to your last prior gap at 53.5 to $54. Not good. Let me take a sip of this water, man. I'm damn thirsty right now. Oh, here is a good comment. I'm glad that I caught this one out of the side of my eye. Robert N says, Krown, your sleep comment is pure science. As uni professor, all research shows people think better, score higher on exams, make better decisions with deep, good sleep. Yeah, without mistakes. Absolutely, man. And that's actually some, like, it sounds like you're an actual professor yourself, or you do the research. I would love to speak with you about that, because man, I can't tell you like how good. I didn't know how good you can actually feel until I started to consistently get 8 hours of sleep a night. Like in college and right out of college, it's just kind of normal to stay up until like fucking 1, 2, 3 a.m. And it's just like you sleep until 11, you think that's okay. It's really actually not. Like even if I go to bed and get 8 hours of sleep past like 10, it's not the same. I'm not as sharp. I'm not as good. And like everything gets thrown off. Digestion, my mood becomes dysregulated. My actions become discombobulated. Like I'll start to like look at words and in like very simple words like how about that one? Just don't look like they're spelled right. I think the other day I fucking put my credit cards in the fridge, and I was like, where's my credit cards? It's like, I didn't sleep well. So I thought that was a good idea, But yeah, man, I really, I think getting like 8 hours of sleep a night, I go to bed at like 9 now, or even before 9 more often than not. Honestly, it can be life changing, and you just don't know how good you can feel if you haven't done that consistently. It's the cure to almost every issue. It's literally the cure to almost every issue, in my opinion. Or at least that I found. Let's see, 4 stars. Hey, what's up, 4 star? Good to see you, man. Apple, 4 hour possible bouncy areas. You're looking at 136, 137. Okay. AAPL. All right. Okay. Yeah, Matthew Walker is someone that I spent a lot of time listening to as well. Very, very interesting. I love his book as well. You're looking for bouncy areas. Okay. Daily's in a bit of a free fall right here. Does this one look like it wants to break down or not? Oh, you're looking exactly where I'd want to look at. However, you're looking at that from a 4 hour. I'd be looking at this from a daily perspective. I mean, the 200s are going to be pretty obvious areas right here, and that's pretty much in your region. 135, I'd say. Anywhere around there. If I'm looking at a 4 hour, I'd probably be looking for a very short-term bounce off of like 140, but you know, for nothing more than just a short-term bounce. This is looking like a nice clean breakdown. Yeah. I'd also kind of put you somewhere around the weekly 55 as well. Again, a corrective move on this one is needed after a long. It's not nothing's needed, but is to be expected after a very long time of doing shit like this. This is your real chart, right? And this is certainly toppy right there. But yeah, I'd like this one down around 135 or so, maybe even as deep as 125 would be like super obvious right here. Or sorry, 120 make that long term, but it doesn't sound like you're super long term. Just looking for the nice decent size bounce. I'd be looking like 135 or so. We do have a massive bearish engulfing dildo on the monthly as of right now. Again, a lot of crazy shit can happen into the end of the quarter. Like these are usually really big times. Really big times for many reasons, not just because we have an infrastructure bill going through tomorrow or being voted on, but also, of course, it's going to be quarterly rebalancing. So all of the big hedge funds and big money managers, they're going to be washing around these dates. And typically what they do is they buy their winners and they sell their losers. And in this case, it looks like everyone's kind of losing at the end of the quarter here. Actually, speaking of, let's go. Ooh, ah! If this is the top, it's going to be the most obvious top like of all time, and it's going to be shown in textbooks for technical analysis or just any sort of analysis. Holy shit! Like that is really a sight to behold. My lord, man. This chart goes all the way back to 81, by the way, too. Wow, very impressive. Acoin says, how do you tell something is accumulating long term? Was kidding about the accumulation thing, but was surprised to hear you feel it's doing that. I do feel it's doing that mostly based off the very high term timeframes. So how do I kind of judge accumulation or distribution? A general rule of thumb is you can see these technically on all timeframes, but I think it's easier to see on higher term timeframes when it's actually going to matter. Let me think of something that's obvious here. Okay, here we go. So the general rule when it comes to accumulation and distribution is you're looking for something like this. It's like the circles or the half circles. You want to see some like that on your distributions. You want to see some like this on your accumulations. And you see this, several times. You see this typically obviously within ranges over, in traditional markets, it can be years, like decades in some cases. In cryptocurrency land, it's more like 3 months on average is what we typically see on accumulation and distribution phases. But it's basically just a failure to kind of break low over a long period of time and establish support and resistance in a trading range. If it's on the highs, typically going to be distribution. If it's on the lows, typically going to be accumulation. It's a lot more to it other than that, but we're also on a somewhat already long stream here, so maybe I'd save that for like an actual video and do some more deep dives into it. Okay, cool. Udhe Manaran says, can you check out Syscoin? Oh wow, Syscoin. Yeah. Syscoin, doesn't really seem very gender inclusive to me. Okay, Syscoin. Yeah, this is it. This is from 2017. I'm nearly positive of it. Yep. No. Hey, I know that we have more history than this. Surely it's got to have more than this. Okay, here we go. This is what I want to see. Yeah, there we go. Show me that shitty coin. Oh yeah, we got a gigantic shitcoin right here. Syscoin, shitcoin. Okay, what time frame are you looking at, sir? Okay, no time frames given. Actually, another chart that's not as bad as what you would have expected for the short term, especially. Long term, obviously, this is abysmal and has no business. Has no business being traded anywhere, but hey, it's free world, right? Below 26 cents, I'd be looking for this one to completely topple its whole rally right now. But as long as you're above 26 cents, I do think that you can make an excuse for it. It's okay. Technically speaking, shouldn't be bearish on a chart that looks like this for the short term, and should be looking for another move back up somewhere around about 34 to 35 cent. But there's a very obvious invalidation right here, and I'm very inclined to say it's going to hit it, mostly because this is a laggard within this market, and we typically see the junk rally last in market cycles, and this one would likely meet that criteria when you look at the long term here, because this one didn't even get anywhere near its 2018 highs, and just very, 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 very pathetic bounce attempts here. Anywhere below 26 cent, I'd be looking for this one to have a nice girthy move short term down to about 21.5 cent, probably bounce there, and then continue over the next like month or so down to its natural levels of 13, 14 cents or so. But again, as long as it's above about 26 cent, you can make an excuse for it. I am inclined, again, like my rules would say I'm not supposed to do that, but in this case, kind of like the setup right here. But hopefully that was helpful. Just be aware of where your risk is. That is the value, and of course in actual trading analysis. Cool. Okay, where else are we at? All right, there we go. What's up, Shane? Shane says ALU on the ASX. Okay, got it. Thank you for specifying which exchange as well. It's actually really, really helpful, especially on ones like this. Okay, what time frames are you looking at? Weekly, monthly. Got it. Okay, weekly. Let's go to the very high term time frames. Okay, monthly is good. Yeah, monthly is very good. I'm not getting too much from the weekly, but the monthly I really do like. Any sort of a move down in October down to like 32.5 to 32.25 is fair game, but I'd be looking at that as an opportunity. This is actually really, really good on all higher term time frames. I'm guessing this is like some sort of a Altium Limited. Actually, I don't know what the fuck this thing is, but for right now, just ranging obviously. But long term, I do like it. Short term, which you didn't ask about, probably gets another drive at like 35.90 or so. But overall, I'd be a lot more interested in the monthly and quarterly, which you are looking at actually. So that's good, especially for something like this. Monthly RSI looking good, rejecting the bearish control zone, playing out that hidden bullish evidence. Monthly Jewel actually getting some positive curvature, bouncing off the fib there as well. This is a setup really around end of year, but I would be looking for this one to retest highs probably around end of year. It does look good. There's nothing really bearish about this on the higher term time frames, especially as long as you're above about $31. So pretty simple right there. But below 31, yeah, for us to fall apart a bit. But coming to the end of the month here, I think that this is rather good. Of course, tomorrow's going to be a long day, but any sort of a closure here or higher is going to look really, really good coming into October and November especially. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. Gold on the 5-minute. Sure, we can do that. Sure. I haven't looked at gold in a while, and I certainly have not looked at the 5-minute on gold in a very long time. The monthly looks like a breakdown, but we'll just ignore that for right now. On a 5-minute, 5 minutes fine. 5 minutes okay here. Be looking for another move back up short term to like 1740 or so, maybe even maybe even as much as 1740 in a quarter or so. Breakout above about 1741, and probably looking at a move somewhere around about 1743.5 to 1744. Invalidation on this one very easily below about 1737.5. See what the hourly looks like. The hourly support that. It's some hidden bearish evidence right there, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this one back around like 1744 or so. About a 4 hour. Here's what it looks like over here. Let's see. Daily is nasty. This one does look like it wants to break down, to be fair, on the higher term time frames, but you're not concerned with that, it seems like. That's fair enough. If you're trading a 5-minute, who cares about a fucking monthly? Yeah, I'd probably be looking for it to tick up here. See, let's just go and check out the 5-minute just out of curiosity. Yeah, a bit more sideways range, but I would be looking for this one to give another try somewhere around about 1740 or so. Be okay. Obvious invalidation again below about 1737.5, I believe it was. Be aware though, higher term timeframes are very bearish. Very fucking bearish there. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing later today, somewhere down around about 1720 to 1725. So upside I think is rather limited. You are certainly trading against the daily right here, and you're based on off a 5-minute. Again, I think it could work out for you, but I feel a lot more strongly about the daily here, I'll tell you that. Wow. Jesus Christ, man. Peter Schiff, not a happy man. Not a happy man. All good, Mr. Nimbo. Okay, Trent Norden says, Cadena? Okay, Cadena. A new one for me as well. All right, it's crypto, of course, fucking crypto, and it's been around for the ripe old time of actually almost 6 months now, so that's okay. It's a breakdown though. We got a shitcoin chart on the fucking loose yet again. Probably looking for this one to come down to 120 to 121 region. You're looking at a 4 hour and daily. Okay, that's a daily. 4 hour, does it bounce before that? Probably yes. Can bounce up all the way to 160 and not really change my mind on this one. All higher term time frames bearish. Well, the higher term time frames that you can even see over here. Maybe a 5-day. Yeah, overall, I do think that this one will come down to at least 125 to 120 or so. Short term, though, if you're asking specifically about a 4 hour, can easily rally back up to like 150 to 155. I have no reason to invalidate anything on this one, especially as long as you're below about 160 or so. And in short term, it very likely does bounce up here. To be fair, I mean, I'm getting a lot of up signals on the short term timeframes. Mr. Jordan Knox says DPET 4 hour and daily. Okay, DPET. Oh my god, my DeFi pet, like fucking Neopets from back in the day. Holy shit, talk about being too early. They probably had the right idea, but CryptoKitties is the ones that capitalized, it looks like. And now you got decentralized pets. Well, actually, I mean, this kind of makes sense. I mean, maybe they have like some sort of NFT that gives you access to like a digital pet in the metaverse. So, you know, once you put on your fucking VR goggles, you can go play with your little fake spot. It's good. I'd actually prefer that over having a real dog, just because you don't have to clean up its actual shit. Then again, you probably still have to clean up after. You know what the funniest fucking thing is right now? It's not the funniest thing, but it's very interesting to me. Okay, so I'm big into games, and I play a lot of VR. I play a lot of regular games as well. And you know what some of the more popular games are coming out, especially in VR? I'm not making this up, by the way, but some of the most popular games in VR right now are literal simulations of what typically people would describe as like menial jobs. Like I think I saw like a janitor one, a lawnmower one, a truck driver one, which actually sounds probably pretty relaxing. In fact, I saw like an accountant one. Like it's actually really, really bizarre that we are creating our own heavens, and what are we choosing to do in them? We're choosing to do our current tasks in the metaverse, which is so bizarre, because then you start thinking about like simulation theory and everything. It's like, man, this makes so much sense. Like if we can create our perfect universe, we'd probably just create this and just say, hey, you go fucking wild, because things are probably too easy in the future, or in some alternate reality. Anyways, Jero says, hey Krown, DYDX fib extension please. Okay, I think we already did this, or we certainly already did this one, but did we do an extension on this one, or areas of interest? I don't know, maybe. No, or at least not on this chart. Something like this. I'd be looking anywhere between about 27 and 28.5 bucks is what I'd be looking for on this one. Short term, 26.25, and a bit of a short term pullback, but overall, still, you know, this is pretty good. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing blow through those areas more long term. But if you're just looking at a 4 hour, which barely even makes sense on this as well, because it's so new, that's what I'd be looking at. Who looks at gold on a 5 minute? I mean, gold's pretty liquid, so it kind of makes sense. But man, that's I don't know. I don't like trading gold, man. I don't like trading gold myself, so fair enough. To each their own, of course. What's up, Jack? Oh yeah, we could do. We haven't done Solana in like a week now, man. I'm guessing this one looks like a shit of a chart. Looks like most other things. I'm not like most of the charts. Most charts. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's do an overview on this one. Here we have Solana, symbol SOL, versus the dollar, and we actually haven't looked at this one in a while now, I suppose because most people are not so enamored with this after it just going mostly sideways for the last week and a half here. But with that said, what do we have going on right now? Well, we do have a downtrend, we do have some lower lows, we do have some lower highs, and it looks like it is in a redistributive pattern right here in the format of a descending triangle. That also means that you could invalidate this with a move back above about 148, and this would look really, really good. You might even call that a bear trap, and you could start to target moves back up to like 160, maybe as much as 170 in the medium term. But overall right now, this is actually not showing super nasty signs in the short term. Actually, go into like an hourly right here. Yeah, hours a little bit short-term topic probably does come back down to like 136, very, very short-term. But let's see what the daily looks like. Daily, just kind of trudging along. You know, again, this one doesn't seem to be super correlated with Bitcoin, but I suspect that if Bitcoin were to break down below 40,000 bucks, you probably do find this one somewhere at around 110 to 105. Let's go see what Momentum also to say over here. See? Okay, Solana. Let's maybe get off the 5-minute for this one. Daily Stokes will be coming down with any sort of a closure today below 135. That's obviously going to be your risk area on this one. 4 hours up as long as above 137. Hourly is going to probably be up as long as above 136.85. About 12 hour. 12-hour down if failure below about 138 and a half. Actually, this is actually rather interesting. The short-term timeframes and the higher-term timeframes all pivoted around about, let's just say 139 to kind of round up there. But if this thing does start to close back above 139, I would give it at least a chance. Again, I wouldn't necessarily call it a bear trap until you actually pop back above about 148. But for right now, you know, within the context of this current market, I do think that things are more inclined to move to the downside after a bit more sideways short-term. And of course, for the hourly right here, I would be more downside angled. So if it does hit my target about 136.5, how does that start to influence things over here? Let me just double check so I can make sure. Okay, that would force 6-hour Stokes back down. But what about 4? Yep, back down as well. Obviously, hourly would obviously be back down as well. 12-hour and daily would also be down. Well, actually, daily not so much. 135 is magical number right there. I'd actually be looking at the lower term timeframes right here. You know, this would be another lower high if it does top out right there on the short-term timeframes. I would feel comfortable saying with an hourly closure below about 136.25, you're very likely to see another move all the way back down to your 128 level, and you probably do break it at that point as well and initiate a move down to you know, 105 to 110 region. I think at minimum. Again, going to be easier to watch Bitcoin, but I would be bullish on this thing. Again, especially above your which date was this? Especially above your 27th of September highs. That would look pretty damn good. So, as always, has to be an invalidation point on the other side. But you know, you can actually see that the lower term time frame is going to be running a lot on this one. So I'd actually be paying attention to the hourly right here. Funnily enough, hopefully that was helpful. But Solana, let's actually check out the weekly. Not great, but not terrible. Monthly, not great. Monthly, not super great. What about 5-day? 5-day, yeah, if this one does start to dump out, it's going to get really, really nasty, but showing some decent signs here, to be fair, on the higher term time frames. So maybe do give it a chance. Again, I'd wait for confirmation on those moves. And hopefully that was helpful. There you go for Solana. Nice one, sir. Where are we at? Matt Lubati says, BAT 1 month chart and long term. Okay. BAT USD. Hey, stop that. Here we go. All right. Weak, very weak, very, very weak. I'd be looking for this one to put in another wick down to about 50 cents if you're looking at the monthly. Very difficult to be bullish on this thing long term as long as below 80 cents. But you know, long term, it's not like a terrible chart. I just suspect that over the next couple months, you probably do put in another move down to about 45 to 50 cents or so. Daily is in free fall. Daily looks like absolute shit. Very bearish on the daily below about 72 and a quarter. I'd be looking for continuation down to about 49 to 50 cents or so. Probably another bounce there, and then come back to it after that. Yeah, 5-day just looks like dog shit right here too. Any sort of a downside move in Bitcoin, any sort of weakness in Bitcoin, this one very likely finds its way back down below 50 cents. But I would give it a chance at 50 cents to be fair. Other than that, you know, long term, it's not terrible. It's certainly better than a lot of things long term, as it did make new highs above its 2017 highs. I do like that, but you know, if this thing is going to turn out to be bullish, what are you probably going to see here? You're probably going to see something like this, where you put in a, Jesus Christ, get that out of my face. That's not relevant. Probably going to see like a long-term range between about 90 cents and 45 cents. And best pray that this thing does not crack back down below 45 cents, because at that point, it's going to lose its long-term somewhat goodness, and back down to the teens it goes at that point. But, you know, give it a chance, at least short-term. Probably does have a little bit of downside. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. All right, cool. Nick Hell, stop spamming, please, and maybe go on a vacation, because it's not that's not normal behavior. That to the moon, not anytime soon, at least in my opinion. Looks like it is trying to do a huge W long term, just like Bitcoin. What would that look like? A huge W. So like this, like let's see. I'm gonna guess that you're probably talking about something like this, like boom, 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 boom. Kind of what I've postulated before on Bitcoin specifically. Ah, shit. I just deleted my whole damn thing. Oops. There we go. Okay. Actually, it's not that impressive of a chart anyways, but let me just get rid of this right here. You know, would that make sense? Yeah, I mean, it would come back down and fill the gap on CME. This is the chart that I was kind of playing around with a lot a couple months ago, something like that. But here's the thing, like, how can this turn out, right? How can this turn out? Or what are like the main areas of interest on this essentially long term? Oops, let me just go over here. Well, you know, if you're going to be bullish, yeah, it probably does work out something like that. You know, you do get, oh, Jesus, I've already done it over here as well. You know, you come back down, fill the gap over here, and then pop back up and take out the last $50,000 high. That would look really, really good. And I'd 100% agree with you. Extremely bullish back above there, you know, after a bit of a continuation downside move. However, I was actually having a really good chat with Elliot the other day, or I think it was last night actually. And he's like, okay, well, you know, you think that things are going to come down again, but will they go back up? And I'm like, well, probably, yeah. I don't think that Bitcoin's going to like actually shatter the floor below 30, for example. But I would be very concerned if you got something like this, where it comes back down, bounces back up, and then puts in another lower high at like, you know, anywhere in the low 40s. That would look really, really bad. If something like that happens, you're going to see me get extremely bearish. And, you know, at that point, I probably will be looking for Bitcoin to ultimately break $30,000, you know, after some period of time. But for right now, I give it the benefit of the doubt, man. You know, for what it's worth, I don't think that we've seen the cycle highs, but I also don't think that, you know, the cycle really matters when, you know, you see 50% moves in between that cycle, or I think even bigger than that from top to bottom. Yeah, 60% move right there. You know, can you call this a super cycle or something like that? Because I know some people have been speaking about that. I don't say this to like, you know, throw shade at anyone or like make them feel bad or anything like that. But I just don't see how you can say something like that. It's like, how can you live through a 50 to 6% downside move and then say that it's up only? I don't know. Maybe we just can agree to disagree on that. But yeah, that's that's quite the fucking cycle if that's the case. I you know, again, to each their own, obviously, but yeah, that's a hell of a thing. That's a hell of a thing. I don't know, 60% down. You know, at the end of the day, man, just take the market cycle, or just take price action on whatever time frame that you're looking at. Like, the market cycle is kind of irrelevant unless if you're thinking extremely long term, you know, 5-10 years probably down the road. In 5-10 years probably down the road, I'm probably, you know, still looking mostly higher on this thing. That's been the trend. Let's see. This time is different. That's right, man. This time is definitely different. This time is very much the difference. Crypto 007 says Bitcoin CME future gaps at 24,500 and 33,000 on daily. Yeah, there is one at 24,500 as well, but I don't look at that as relevant, and they don't always have to get filled. I mean, by the same token, I could say, and close your ears if you want to be bullish or want to believe in something like that. But you know, I could also say, oh well, we got a pretty big gapola somewhere around here. Where the fuck is it? Where actually is it? I've forgotten where it is. Somewhere in the 3,000s or so. Let me see. Well, wherever it is, somewhere back down around here, and my memory does not serve me correctly any longer. Somewhere like way back on over here. That one's never been filled and probably won't get. I mean, unless this thing's like really, you know, doesn't just get regulated in the ground, but actually gets like completely stifled. I suppose it's possible. I think it'd be quite difficult to do at this point. From what I understand, like, you know, Bitcoin's a little bit kind of past the point of no return. You kind of have to maybe shut down the internet in order to stop it, and even then, I don't know if that would technically stop it. It certainly wouldn't hurt, or certainly wouldn't help price action, no doubt about that. But I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe that some smart motherfuckers have put in satellites in the sky so that you can actually use Bitcoin or trade or use the Bitcoin network, you know, while being offline. I mean, you also got a big gap over here. You got a big gap, or a decent gap over here, I'd say. You know, same things. So, you know, do gaps always get filled? No, they don't. Professional gaps are the types that sometimes never get filled, actually. And I could show you several in traditional markets that never get filled, or at least I would suspect that probably after, you know, 30, 40, 50 years, probably not going to get filled. Let's see. I can stick around here for a little bit longer. What's up, Tokyo Channel? Oh, we got some nice Japanese characters yet again. Krown Japanese. Holy shit. Hey, oh, I was going to say, why do the first two ones look the same, but they're not? Ever so slightly different. I'm actually gonna copy that, man. I'm gonna get that engraved on a. I'm gonna buy a sword, and then I'm gonna have that engraved because that actually looks pretty fucking badass. I'm saving it right now. So that's fucking badass, man. Thank you for that. Could you take a look at dollar yen? Sure. Medium and long term. Okay, you have great day as well, sir. Okay. Pair right here. Wait, actually, let's flip it around. Dollar on top. It's that one I know a little bit better. Yeah, this one's, I'm still very bullish on this, man. It's been taking its time. I remember you were asking about this, like, seems like years ago, but I believe it was like half a year ago, and we said, hey, this is really fucking good over here. The reversal is real. You got a golden cross on the weekly. It's holding the reversal. Or did it actually reverse here? Yeah, we do have higher highs, we do have higher lows. Yes, it has done that. Got the golden cross on top of that, and we're also breaking out as well. Very fucking good, very fucking textbook. Would be looking for medium term continuation, about a $1.1230 or so. But long term, I don't think that it stops there. I think that this one's going to find its way up to probably like 117 to 120 long term. If you're looking at the monthly and quarterly, which is closing tomorrow, I expect that this one's also looking very good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we do have a potential quarterly reversal in progress here as well. We do have a higher low. We don't have a higher high just yet, but if it does obviously hit my 120 target, then it'll certainly create a higher high alongside the way, and that's probably going to extend deep into, you know, the years to come. It looks like this is very powerful right here. Let's actually do a quick look at Dixie. Where's my Dixies? Dixie, where are you, sir? Please respond. Hey, seriously, where the fuck are you? There it is, found you. Whoa, hey, that looks good. That looks pretty good. I wonder where that guy is who's giving me a lot of shit about being bullish on Dixie. Wonder what he has to say now. Well, that's probably a stupid thing to even want to think about. I'd be looking for continuation to 95 and a quarter over the next 3 to 6 months. Very good. It's a breakout. Short term on a daily, looking for continuation to like 94 and a half to 94 and a half or so. Anywhere around there looks good. And then long term, maybe like early next year, up to 95. You're just a big fluffy bear. That's right, man. Big fluffy bear. What's up, Kay? Simple K, mate. What's up, man? EUGLD. Yep, we could do that. And you want to look at the Bitcoin pairing specifically? All right, we can definitely do that as well. Not my way of doing things, but hey, it's your request, I suppose. You're looking at a 4-hour daily. Okay. I'm very inclined to look at this versus the dollar, because it probably looks like decent versus the dollar, because this chart is looking pretty damn good versus Bitcoin. You know, if it wants to correct down to 4,600, that'd be pretty obvious, but overall, I do like it for the long term. I mean, the monthly is looking really fucking good coming into tomorrow. Weekly's looking really fucking good. This thing's bullish long term, especially as long as above 4,800. Let's see. I'm gonna have to look at the dollar pairing over here. Whoops. EGLD. Okay, there we go. Wouldn't mind another move down to like 183 and a half. Momentum oscillators are suggesting a little bit more downside, but I do not confuse that with like bearishness. Or like long-term bearishness. I think that there's just a correction here. This is good long-term. About a 5-day. That's still okay right there too. Monthly is still good. I'm never going to be some bearish on some that close on real-time highs, and this one very likely does do it tomorrow. I just think short, maybe short-term has another drive at like 185 to 186 probably, or very likely bounces there. I would be bullish is not the right term, because this one's already, bullish is already just holding a nice healthy consolidation, it looks like to me, but I'd be looking for continuation back above about 240 or so, where I'd be looking for right there. But short term, I do expect it's more downside angled. 4 hour, 4 hour could easily pop up to like 221 and a half, but oh, you were asking about a 4 hour. Could easily pop back up to about 221 and a half or so. Ultimately, though, just lower highs as long as you're below about 235. I'd still be using this pivot over here, though. This one's rather obvious. Got some bullish evidence come off the lows. Yeah, it could very easily extend short term. Although if Bitcoin rolls, man, I expect you're going to find this one again, 185, 186. Just be aware of your risk on this one, but long term, good. Long term, very good. What's up, Dumb Down Dollars? Nice name, man. Appreciate that, sir. What's up, Manuel? Moin. Hi. Moin. It's Moy, sir, if you're trying to speak Finnish. Oh, from Germany. Okay, sweet. Octoon, sir. I've actually lived in Berlin and Munich years ago. And Berlin, I really, really liked, actually. Berlin's pretty damn cool. You think that possible correction of 10 to 20% in SPY can start a bear market for some years? Like start a bear market for traditional markets? I suppose it's it's obviously possible, but you know, okay, well, first off, how do you define bear market? Technically, in traditional markets, you define bear markets by a 20% downside move, actually. It's kind of funny because that would be like where I'm looking for on this, you know, what I would say is correction. But, you know, keep in mind where we're at in the grand scheme of things here, because a 20% move from our current all-time high, you know, just brings us back down probably somewhere around the 55. And by the way, dare I say this, it'd still be a higher low on the monthly. So if you're looking at the macro structure here, it doesn't really do too much for that. We've just been in such a massively upside market that, you know, there hasn't really even been like any real pullbacks on a monthly since way back on over here. And that would literally be a higher low, even with a 20% correction. So do I think that it'd start a bear market? Well, again, it depends how you define it. You can define it two ways: either a monthly downtrend, or lower lows and lower highs on a monthly as well. And in that case, a monthly downtrend or more than a 20% move is what I meant to say. It wouldn't be my first analysis. What I want to see, Manuel, is I'd want to see first a big move down and then a failed lower high, like somewhere around 4,000. That's at the point where I'd start to be like, okay, we might be entering into like a multi-year bear market where you get something like this, you know. And this isn't even really a bear market. It's really sideways if you look at the monthly right here. But these are some pretty nasty downside moves compared to how easy things have been ever since basically 2010 or 2008 actually, or sorry, 2009 really. So yeah, I mean, this would kind of count as a bear market in essence. So do I think that it wouldn't be my first target, man? It'd be like the first major correction since this area over here, which was 2020 actually. That was, of course, your coronavirus dump times. And how much did this one correct down? 35% actually from wick to wick. Not bad, sir. Dumb down dollars did it again. Everyone is getting a copy of their hex buy pressure going to be insane. We have another marketing ploy over here. Let's actually go look at hex. I called a top on hex at just above 50 cents. I'd still be sticking with that top, man. You know, it's fair enough. It sounds like you're going off a fundamental analysis. Cool. You know, to each their own, obviously, but I still stick with my top call over here. I think that this one works its way down, probably somewhere around 20 cents over the next couple months here. Yeah, I don't really have a reason to change that as of this moment. Monthly's still okay, but I don't really trust a monthly for something that's been around for, you know, not so long. Yeah, less than about a little bit more than a year now, about a year and a half. So it's okay, but yeah, this one looks very, very toppy to me. You know, there's going to be bounces along the way. I wouldn't even mind another bounce to 45 cent. Could very easily do it. However, next downside move should probably bring it somewhere down around like 30 to 35 cent. Probably another big bounce there, and then that's probably the last one before mid to low 20s if I had to guess. Back to the go. This has been the engineer. It's interesting, man. Like I see that the Hexicans do this a lot, where they like go to people's streams and kind of use it as like a marketing tool. Unfortunately, you know, before that was working with me because obviously I'm going to be bullish on a chart that looks like this, and I was bullish on a chart that looks like that was this, just below 2 cents all the way up to 50 cents, but not in its current state. I think this one's actually breaking down. I think that this one getting ready for like some actual downside. Maybe after one more slight pop up. Of course, it always comes with an invalidation. You know, back above about 45 cent on a daily closure. Yeah, I'd probably not hold on to that view any longer. But yeah, I don't think that that's what this is doing right now. Fair enough. Each their own, sir. What's up, Mr. Lior? OMG versus the dollar. Oh man, people still are interested in fucking Omizigo. Dear Lord, dear fucking Lord. Actually, not bad on the daily. I was expecting something much worse. I'd be short-term looking for this one to pop back up to 10 and a quarter. Obviously, there's going to be invalidation on this one, just below about 8.65. I'd be looking for a correction back down to like $7.50, but actually doesn't look so bad. Again, we have another 2017 shitcoin that failed to get back above its 2017 highs. So, you know, probably a laggard in this market. You know, usually the junk rally is last, but short term it's good. Short term and daily is good. I'll be looking for this one back around $10 probably. And if you start to close 4-hour deltas above there, probably be extending that move all the way up to, you know, 12, maybe even $13. This one actually looks pretty good. I wasn't expecting that at all. The monthly looks really, really good here. Yeah, man. fair enough. Maybe they actually did something, perhaps. Tokyo says, I am a licensed ham radio operator. What, like ham? What does that mean? It's possible to send crypto over. Oh, okay. So this is like a technical term. All right. It's even possible to send crypto over radio waves. Really? So after the zombie apocalypse happens, I can still trade the cone. I don't know how many other people are gonna be able to figure that out as well, but that's actually really enlightening, man. So it really is like, yeah. I mean, I guess that's actually really enlightening, man. Holy shit, they've really thought this thing through. That's impressive as all hell. Wow. Edwin's generation says Hexkins will not accept any downside narrative. They will buy more of Tyrann. Well, hey man, that's why we have markets. People can disagree with each other, obviously, and I can obviously be wrong as well, man. That's just I'm just looking at the charts. That's all. AM equals amateur radio. Gotcha. Yeah, that is fucking insane. So you can basically trade it no matter what. Is that true with other cryptos? Can you do the same thing? Like if the internet were to go offline, could you still trade, I don't know, just pick any old random altcoin? Would that be the same thing? Also, if you think you're going to jail, you should stake. Well, I do think, like, fundamentally speaking, for projects that have staking, like Hex, like a lot of these services, it seems to me, and again, feel free to disagree with me on this or prove me wrong as well, because I'm not like educated in this fashion. But it seems to me that Gary Gensler, the new SEC chairman, has made it very clear that he's not a fan of these staking services where they're basically securities. I know that Mr. Hart would say that it's not a security, but I don't know if he'd agree with that statement. It'd be very interesting to hear. It'd be very interesting to kind of go back and forth with someone who's like actually educated. Like we'd probably need to talk to a lawyer or something, and not just any lawyer, but like someone who's like actually got experience in this case as well. Maybe that guy Larry Saramac would be a good one to hit up. Although I don't know if he'd be willing to do it, but that'd be super interesting. That would actually be super interesting because it does seem to me like staking services like DeFi is going to come under the hot is going to come under the hot eye there. I don't know what the saying is, but it seems like it's kind of easy pickings for regulators to go after. Hey man, stop. If you spam like that, we're just going to send you on a vacation, Jowmind, and we're not going to address whatever the fuck you're asking, because you can't go into a community and do something like that. It's weird, and it pisses other people off who are like actually being normal. So yeah. I feel that Richard Hart is the type of guy that really likes to hear the sound of his own voice. I actually, as a person, I kind of like him. He's very interesting to speak with. I've actually had an interview with him like a couple years ago, I think it was. He's extremely intelligent. And he's very, very interesting to speak with, but I think I'll just leave it right there. You have to look into his history a bit, man. You have to look into his history a bit. Jack's back. He wants to look at Ethereum Bitcoin 4 hour. Okay, yeah, we should definitely look at this one. How did this one hold up? This one should be a good insight in the general health. No, I'd be looking for another wick down at 6.7 million Satoshi, but I am looking probably for a bottom at 6.7 million Satoshi. It is starting to show some characteristics of putting in a bottom right here. Obviously going to be invalidated below about 6.6 million Satoshis. This is a 12 hour on daily. But I do think it has another downside move, but I would be looking for bottoms within that region. And again, looking at the 4 hour right here, it ain't bad. I mean, that is a higher low. Let's see what momentum oscillators have to say about that. Maybe they could change the analysis a bit. Daily is going to be down as long as below about 6.9, which actually we are above right now. Good. 12 hour is going to be down below about 7.5. 4 hour is going to be up above 7, and hourly is going to be down below 6.8. Kind of a wild card on this one. I don't know. If I had to call it, I do think it has one more spike down around here and then probably does level out a bit. Again, coming into the monthly closure tomorrow, this is still good, at least in the way that I look at things. So I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. Probably means that Ethereum doesn't break down as much if Bitcoin were to take the southern road here. 5 day. Still, I mean, it's not super strong here. If it really gets hit on the head, I'd be looking at like just below 6 million Satoshis. I don't think that's what's happening here, but and how's our quarterly looking as well? Yeah, still fine. still fine. I don't have any issues with that. It's still looking long-term good to me. Would be really, really obvious back above about 7.25 million Satoshis, but regardless, I'd even still like it right here. Anywhere above 7 is probably fine long-term. Brandon Toy says, it gets even better. In the case of an EMP that takes out all electronic devices, I can send Bitcoin via Pigeongram? What the fuck? Wait, is this real? Buy Pigeongram BTC. See, this market's so fucking crazy that I don't know if that's a joke or not. Dare I look? No fucking way. Oh, no, it's not a real thing. God damn it, I've been trolled! I've been trolled yet again. But wait, there's more. Bitcoin will even operate if the whole universe collapses. It's insane. Sir, Bitcoin quarterly close not well, then bear market. I would not feel comfortable calling like a bear market. And when I say bear market, I mean like, you know, down below 30,000. I mean like, you know, targets down to 20,000 bucks and beyond. As long as Bitcoin's above about 32,000 bucks on a weekly here. So quarterly, how's it looking like? No, quarterly is actually very, very obvious, in fact, as to when we're going to enter into a bear market, actually. And this is actually really, 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 really just simple and funnily enough works incredibly well. All quarterly wicks have been like perfect with getting the macro direction. Anytime that a quarterly wick has been lower than the previous quarterly wick low, it's been your major reversals. Let's back test it. Over here, wick low goes a little bit lower, boom, big correction. Wick low goes a little bit lower right here. This is like literally by a factor of $100, by the way, on this one, goes lower over time. Same thing over here, wick low, this one obviously lower as well, and then we're sway lower. All these are higher except for this one right here, wick lower and boom, corrects. And right now, this wick low is 27,741 and 9 cents. This one's 28,754 and 40 cents, and this one is 29,292 and 73 cents. They're all higher, actually. They're all higher still, at least for right now. Here would also be a really obvious thing as well. If Bitcoin closes tomorrow, the quarterly back above 44,000 bucks, that would look really, really good. That would look really good coming into end of year. I mean, that would obviously imply that Bitcoin would choose a little bit of the short-term upside route right now, but this is probably a good time for me to follow up on Bitcoin. Oh, what's up, Elsa? Hey, hope you're having fucking fun, lazy bitch. Just kidding, I love you. Please send me more bikini pics because I need to master the art of baiting later today. All right, let's see. Let's wrap it. Oh, we're gonna wrap this bitch up, but Mr. Sahil has come in hot. MTV versus the dollar. Okay, MTV versus multi-vac. No, that's MTV. Sorry. Multi-vac. Okay. No time frames given. Breaking down a bit here. Long-term good. Does this one come down to 1.3 cent before it's all said and done? Probably yes. Monthly kind of losing its luster there coming into end of month here. 4 hour. Do we pop back up short-term first? Probably yes. Anywhere to 1.7 cent is fair game, but bearish below about 1.85 cent, and I'll be looking for those targets to probably get met into December, somewhere again down around about 1.2 to 1.3 cent. Short term though probably does bounce up here a bit. Probably has one more bounce. 1.7 to 1.8. It's fair game. Oh, and John Jude's here again. Hey, what's up, man? You changed your name. You should watch Foundation, great sci-fi from Asimov Books. Okay. PS Meta here. I asked about. We'll be focusing on 3D scanning for the metaverse. Oh, damn, that is super cool. I would actually like to invest in something like that because I do have a conviction that will be, or I do have a strong thesis, I guess, that will be a humongous part of our future. Maybe I need to look into that. Thank you for bringing that up, man. Thank you for bringing that up. Unfortunately, again, they don't have it on TradingView. All right, cool. You want to look at BNB? All right, we'll look at BNB, man. We'll look at BNB. This is gonna be the last one though. Looks like shit. Short term up. Short term can even rally back up to like 380, 390 region. Wouldn't be surprised to see it down around about 280 though over the next probably in October. Short term bouncy though, can easily rally up to 360. No problem. And I would invalidate this whole analysis and be very bullish on it back above about 435. Pretty fucking far away, and I don't think it's happening anytime soon. But that's what I want to see. Short term though, up 360 to 380 maybe. Oh shit, we got a couple more. All right, Martin Hunt wants to look at algo on the 4 hour and daily. Okay. No. All right. Also, anything you can say about Bitcoin outlook for rest of year if it finds a bottom in low 30s? If it finds bottom in low 30s, I'd probably be like, I don't understand why people like are so obsessed with 6-digit Bitcoin by end of year. I don't know when it happens. I'll just be generally looking for a move into the 6-digit territory, whether it happens by end of year or like sometime in 2022 or 2023. I'm agnostic to. But if Bitcoin bottoms at $30,000, I mean, I'm generally looking for a market cycle top at around anywhere between about $110,000 to $130,000 for what it's worth. Krown, I have to stay up till 2 a.m. to watch the show. Sorry, man. Apologies on that. Maybe we could switch around the time at some point. Okay, algo, you're looking at a 4 hour and daily. 4 hour. 4 hour bullish evidence certainly playing out right there, but how much more can it go? Hard to love as long as it's below about 178 on a daily. Above 178 on a daily, I'd be looking for this one to reclaim $2 and maybe even corrections over at that point. But I'm getting a lot more downside signals here than not. I do see daily Jewel is still suggesting hodl your shorts right there. Volatility is not taken up yet, so it's not like a fully actionable signal just yet. But below about $1.50, this thing will very likely come down very hard towards 130 or so. Yeah, 130 to 135 is where I'd be looking towards if that were to happen. Until then, short term, can extend the rally a little bit more, maybe yes, but I wouldn't be looking at this as anything more than just another failed bounce as long as it's below about 185. Above 185, you can start to look at this one as pretty decent, and I'd probably start to even say that maybe the correction's over, or daily above about 175, I think it was, something like that. All right, cool. All right. Let's see. Oh, no, we got one more. William Varley says, cello, okay, 1 hour, 4 hour daily. All right. Last one, man. My voice is actually like starting to hurt, and it's liver day today, man. I get to eat some liver, and Elsa can't complain about it. Haha. Let's see. 4 hour, short term up, probably 6.25. Hourly, I would invalidate that target with a move back down below 590. Until that happens, I'm generally looking for another bounce attempt towards, I think was it 540? Sorry, 520, maybe even as much as 540, or sorry, 620 to 640 or so. Bullish evidence come off the current low. Yeah, I'd probably be looking for short-term up, invalidated below about, 590. If 590 does fail, you're probably going to see Bitcoin topple over as well. I imagine you find this one back down around about 505 to 510. That's where I generally think this market's going. But long term, is it good? Is it bad? Generally good long term. Monthly, any sort of a closure, basically hero high is going to look pretty damn good coming into maybe November. Oh, god damn it, Edwin's. All right, EOS. Is EOS as bad long term as it looks in the short term chart? Let's see. EOS here. Yep, pretty fucking bad. Very, very weak, man. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing back down around $2 around end of year. Yeah, this one's very, very weak right now. Even the short-term time frame is like a 4 hour. The 4 hour could easily rally back up to like $4, maybe even above $4, but yeah, very, very bad long term. Very, very bad. Definitely weak. Any sort of weakness in Bitcoin, this thing's going to get torn apart, I think. Back down to like 2.25 to $2 even long term, something like that. Quarterly, just selling. People just selling this thing. Bitcoin is pumping hard. Really? It went up a full $50. Holy shit! We might even have an uptrend on the hourly. I think we do. I think we might even extend this all the way to 42,850. Craziness, pumping fucking hard, baby. All right, all right. Let's wrap this bitch up and send you on your very merry way. Here we have Bitcoin versus the dollar, and it looks like we did hit our targets from yesterday, down to about just below $41,000. We did say a bounce from that area was very likely, and I believe that's what we're playing out right now. Bullish evidence come off the last 4 hour low, which is good. And could we extend this rally a little bit more? Certainly, yeah. Anywhere around about 43.3 to 43.5 is fair game. However, I do still look at this as a distributed pattern with very likely a downside resolution, assuming that Bitcoin fails to get back above the 0.5 Fibonacci right here, which is directly around our last lower high on the 4 hour and by extension the daily as well, at around 44,500 or so. So as long as Bitcoin's below there, I do look at higher term timeframes, it's kind of toppling on over with a little bit of short term timeframes showing some upside here. With that said, daily has a silver cross to the downside, being governed by the 10 right now. So I do look at that as playable, especially as long as you're below the 10 in this case. We do see daily Jewel is still suggesting to halt your shorts, borne upon the signals from way back on over here on 7th of September, actually. And we do see that volatility is ever so slightly ticking up, although, technically it's down right there. However, the moving average, which I do trust more for these fashions, is about to get above 50 percentile, which is good, and does suggest that the trend continues. And in this case, the trend is down and has been down ever since our confirmation of 48,000 bucks right there about a couple weeks ago now. With that said, lower term time for momentum oscillators, what are they suggesting? Probably a continuation of the bounce if I had to guess. Hourly remains to the upside as long as we're above 41.5. 4 hour remains to the upside as long as we are above 41.9. 12 hour remains will pop to the upside above 42.650, and daily will pop up above 43.5 as well. So with that said, I would call a bear trap on this back above, especially 45,000 bucks. I do think you might be able to front run that above 44.5, to be fair. However, until that happens, I'm just looking for a short-term pop back up. Anywhere around basically here and about $1,000 higher is fair game for the short-term timeframes. Don't have too much faith in those. And then any sort of even like an hourly closure at this point, back down below about 41.9, I would say. I'd be looking for another retest of the lows at just around 41,000 bucks, and very likely an actual break of them coming into the end of the month here. With that said, we would have a measured move based off of the descending triangle, which is also in line with our August lows, which is just below 38,000 bucks actually. And on top of that, that would be around your weekly 55 exponential average as well. And if we do throw in the Gaussian channel, that would actually be, that's going to be your 5-day median, I believe. Nope, no, it is not actually. No, it's not going to be your daily either. Well, I guess we're in free fall then. No, fair enough. At the end of the day, need to see that level actually break first before it does become an actionable target. But realistically, I am still looking at this as more likely to break down than not after maybe a short-term bouncy bounce here. Again, assuming that bouncy bounce fails to get back above about 44.5, especially. Just looking at that as another lower high. And the daily technically did break below the bottom side Gaussian channel yesterday after bouncing off and rejecting at the median, for the past week. So that is kind of a breakdown signature right there. And in this case, momentum oscillators are agreeing with that. I think CME is also showing some things of interest. That's what it was. CME is showing it right here. Bottom side Gaussian channel is right around that $38,000 target. On top of that, what else do we see on CME that was not present on spot? Oh yes, it was right here. Right here. We do see, yes, Bitcoin got its first open and closure below the 200 simple for the first time realistically since July, actually, which is of significance. And yeah, as long as we're living below there, and guess where it is? 43.5. Hard to love for right now. Again, above the 44.5 level, or especially above 45,000 even, I would look for another rally up to 47,000 bucks or so, and then come back to it after that. Obviously above 48,000 bucks is full on, no questions asked bear trap initiated, and we can talk about moves back into the deep $50,000 territory. But for right now, Bitcoin showing a lot more downside pressure than not. Of course, we do have the infrastructure bill vote tomorrow, that being Thursday. So markets will move off of that. Until then, I do think that this is, a little bit more on the risky side. But I hope that this serves you well. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Alrighty, sirs and zers, I think I am going to be, signing off now. I want to wish you well. I want to wish you the best yet again. It's been a nice Wednesday morning over here from Helsinki, Finland. Be signing off now. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe. Hopefully this was helpful, and until next time, take care.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, take it, blend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it,